All right. All right. We have we have a problem, everybody. We have a problem. Let's take a close look at this problem right quick. Your channel isn't earning now. After reviewing your channel using a combination of automated systems and human reviewers, we found that it does not follow our YouTube channel monetization policies. Our review found that your channel contains the following: reused content. Veronica Forker, oh, I'm so happy to see you. Welcome back. It's been a little while. I'm so happy you're here. Look, you're just in time to talk about a little problem that YouTube is dealing with. So, content is not clearly... Okay, the first time I read that, I thought it said clearly not. So that's a little better. It's not clearly an original creation of this channel and may have been repurposed from another source without adding significant original commentary, substantive modifications, or educational or entertainment value. Now, I don't think that's right. What say you? Am I just a lazy content farm? I just click two buttons and then there's a fucking animation of something. So I don't know. I think that's fucked. Now, one reason, possibly a couple reasons why maybe it's that I am using... Oh, Chad. Hey, Chad. Welcome. Glad to see you too. You two are probably like the best two people to have right now to sort of talk through this. So, under do a funny or thoughtful revision of content you didn't originally create. Ding, 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 ding. I would say I definitely do that. Clips of other people's content as part of a critical review. Not really. A scene from a movie where you've rewritten the dialogue and changed the voiceover. You know, that'd be fucking easy to do. That would be a lot lower effort. Yeah. I know, if I compare this to a reaction video, it's like, seriously? Replays of a sports tournament where you explain what a competitor did to succeed or fail. Reaction videos where you comment on the original video. So literally, people could react to my non-monetized videos and monetize those. Edited footage from other creators where you add a storyline or commentary. While it's not footage, I am definitely editing the podcast, and I'm definitely like creating something new. Like when there's a hell of a lot of editing of audio that goes into making these. So here's the only thing that gave me pause. Don't. Promotion of other people's content, even if you have permission. That's really like weird because that almost contradicts reaction videos or something like that. Like, if I comment on something and I like that thing and I enjoy it, aren't I promoting other people's content? Content uploaded many times by other creators. So here's another thing that worried me. What if some AI chuds out there has already ripped all my videos, posted them on their channel, and monetized it? So then when I try to monetize, they're like, oh, you're copying this other guy. If that's the case, I have fucking receipts, dude. I have like live stream footage of me literally making these videos, right? Clips of moments from your favorite show edited together, little or no narrative. I mean, narrative, we could argue that my animation is itself narrative. I'm talking through the pictures and images, right? Short videos you compiled from other social media sites. I don't do any of that. I don't. Collections of songs from different artists, even if you have their permission. I mean, technically, I do have songs from other artists, DJ Danarchy, but that can't be what they mean. So, here's what it says my option is. Appeal by sending a video. So I gotta make a video to tell them why. I like how they, it's like, oh, you're a video maker, huh? Well, if you want to communicate to us, make a video. If you think we made a mistake, send a video telling us why. We'll review your appeal and get back to you with a decision within 14 days. Only choose this option if you haven't deleted any videos since your channel's application was rejected. Must submit by October 23rd. So that's in a few weeks. So if I do that, I have to do that. But what happens after that? What if, or edit your channel and reapply. Review our feedback, then make changes to your channel. Changes can include editing or deleting videos and updating video details. You can reapply starting November 1st as long as your channel meets the requirements. Okay, let me see what you guys are saying. I think you do far more adding to it than reaction video. Oh, yeah. The end of your last video especially would be fitting of created content with Selena Bundeni in the boat. Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I'm spinning a whole yarn. Allowed to be monetized, so use the rules do and don't. You have us giving ideas. Maybe the narrative is us talking about the show. This video and the chat or a previous stream of us talking. Okay, you're saying like for things I could put in the response video or the appeal video? I think you're definitely creating content, especially compared to other YouTubers I've seen. Yeah. I mean, because I think that it was a robot that rejected it. Although it says, what does it say? A combination of automated system and human reviewers. That's so fucking vague. Like, what do you mean a combination? Like, you mean a human, like, saw that the AI flagged it and then the human just clicked OK? So, if I appeal by sending a video, I don't know what that's supposed to, I mean, would it just be like a channel trailer more or less, or like a behind the scenes? Because I can fucking prove that I made all these. I have, not only do I have a lot of recording footage of me drawing it, but I have like all these like files and project files and originals and, you know, original artwork and like the little bits and layers and stuff. I have all, I can show that to anybody. I could sort of try to just, God, it's gonna be as much work as doing another whole video if I have to do that. I've seen reaction channels that are 1% of the effort. Yeah, I know. And I, you know, occasionally I enjoy some low effort YouTube channels. Sometimes there's just a personality behind it. And that guy just has to sit in front of a camera and talk in his bedroom and whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be high effort. Technically, effort doesn't have anything to do with this. Even there are examples of what is allowed to monetize. Replaying sports tournaments where you explain what a competitor did to succeed or fail. Yeah. Hey, you see how he threw the ball and it missed the hoop? Yeah. That's why he didn't get any points that time. The ball has to go in the hoop. Like and subscribe. See you next week. Yeah. I know I'd put a lot of effort into it. I know my effort is not necessarily going to be rewarded in the way of money. My reward is the satisfaction of my art and all that shit. I have the proof, a time lapse. I have lots of time lapses already. In fact, I was working on a kind of just throwing a bunch of the time lapses that I have because my Krita will like automatically record projects, and unless I go in and delete them, they're all preserved. So I made something. I don't remember where I saved it. Not that one. But yeah, a lot of these are saved. I'd probably put it under knowledge fight. Just looking around here. But just like all these little things, like you can find like a little thing. What's it called? Like, you know, like little PNG that's like multi layers, and I can show them the individual layers, right? I got it all. So I don't even know. And I'm thinking too, like maybe they have some dumb thing where they're like, because three of my videos are about RM Brown, who is also a YouTuber, but I'm not using any of his visual content. I'm just using the audio, right? But are they just going to say like, oh, you did that, it's going to be an AI? Who's going to be reviewing the video that I send for appeal? It says we will review your appeal. Who is we? Is it a little team of an automated system with the human reviewer? Let's click learn more. You may be appeal either by creating and submitting a video appeal or by contacting creator support from within YouTube Studio. Okay. After submitting your appeal, our teams will respond within 14 days. If your appeal is successful, we'll either approve or reapprove your channel for whoopapa within 30 days. If your appeal is rejected, you can still reapply after 90 days. Okay. In some cases, we may notify you that your channel is scheduled to be suspended from YPP and invite you to submit an appeal before you're suspended. Okay, that's not a thing. I haven't even got... I'm not even in it yet, so I can't lose it, you know? Proud union. There's nothing wrong with being paid for your work. Yeah, I know that. I know there's nothing wrong with it. I just don't have the expectation that like there's like a direct correlation between effort and money. I'm not deluded. There should be. If that was true, then like fucking nurses and mothers would be paid the most of anybody. But you have so good. You have that to answer something like this. I agree with you. This reuse is baseless. You can appeal. Proud union. Veronica is also a patron of the Not Your Grandmother's Book Club podcast. Cool. I'm not a patron of that one, but I do have them on my podcatcher. And I have this weird thing. I can't remember the name of the host of that one. Maybe you guys can help me. But he sounds exactly like Robert Evans. To the point where I thought I was listening to Robert Evans for a long time when I was like listening to that. He sounds just like the Behind the Bastard guy. I don't know if you guys agree. But I thought that was interesting. Yeah, Not Your Grandmother's Book. I do like, who's the other guy? The British guy who's like the co-host is very funny. D&D minus? Oh, cool. I like I listened to like the first couple seasons. I usually like to kind of listen to them all in one chunk, get the whole thing. Benedict, that's right. And his name is Kevin. Okay, yeah. So he's not Robert Evans. He just has a real Robert Evans vibe. Maybe it's just the accent. Okay, let's read about this video. Okay, less than 5 minutes. That's good. If eligible to appeal by video, follow these guidelines. Video only. You should not put any appeal info in the description. Less than 5 minutes long. Unlisted. Uploaded to the channel you're appealing. Submitted from your account. Narrated in a supported language. Do they have Bengali? Yes. Just kidding. I speak English. Status must be unlisted. New upload. New upload. We want to understand how you create your content. Get a behind-the-scenes look at your process. Okay, good. Okay, these are answering some of my questions here. Include the URL of your channel within the first 30 seconds of your video. Refer to our program policies. Make sure you address specific parts of the policies and give examples of how your channel follows our guidelines. Okay, we'll look at that in a second. Focus on the channel as a whole, not just individual videos that meet our guidelines. Provide visual examples of how your content was created, show how you've edited or filmed your content, and try to connect what you show in your video appeal to other content in your channel. You can show yourself in the video or provide a voiceover. Show how your content was filmed, show how your content was edited. I have no problem with any of that. I kind of do that with these live streams. Like literally, I can just set up my live stream and then instead of streaming, I can just record on OBS. So once your video's appeal is ready, follow these steps to upload it. Sign into YouTube Studio, upload your appeal video as unlisted, copy the URL, go to earn, start the appeal process, enter the URL for your unlisted video, click submit. All right. So program policies. Repetitious content refers to a channel where content is so similar that the viewers may have trouble spotting the difference between videos. That is not going to be a problem. In fact, even when I sort of plan on repeating material, I end up making variations of it, including the intro, outro music. This policy makes sure monetized content offers viewers something appealing and interesting. I mean, come on. That's the definition of my fucking channel, man. These are videos you want to watch over and over and share with your friends. This is funny shit. If the average viewer can clearly tell that content on your channel differs from video to video, it's fine to monetize. Examples of what is allowed to monetize. Same intro and outro for your video, but the bulk of the content's different. Similar content where each video talks specifically about the qualities of the subject you're featuring. Short clips of similar objects edited together where you explain how they're connected. Okay? Content that violates this guideline. When a channel's content consists of similar content, it can frustrate the viewer who come to YouTube for appealing and interesting videos. Is that why people come to YouTube? Or is it because they're fucking addicted to it? These junkies. Your channel shouldn't have content that's produced using a template. There is no template for what I do. Who's going to do 99 cents to cover the expense of the organization system or anything to make the art easier? 99 cents? I honestly took your opinions into consideration. I'm visiting my MAGA parents in January. Instead, I postponed my September time. Okay, I kind of remember this a little bit, Chad. You're talking about not being sure whether to just take a vacation or go like sit in the dining room with your MAGA parents. MAGA parents. I'm pretty lucky. My mom is conservative. My mom is Christian, but she is not a MAGA. She's not a MAGA lunatic. She kind of just stays out of it, and which is refreshing. I don't have like these exhausting like headache conversations with her anymore, because we don't really talk about religion, and whenever we do talk about politics, she's generally pretty on board with anything I say. I mean, I basically got her to admit that she's a socialist, even though she doesn't believe me. But she like she agrees with like literally every socialist position, and was just like, no, but I'm not a socialist though, because where she lives, that's like a, you know, it's a bad word. That's you might as well say terrorist. Hell yeah, you're gonna play some golf in Southern California. That's compare. I don't know. I don't remember where you live, but if you live in like a cold place, that will be a very nice treat to just spend November in Southern California. Okay, reused content. Okay, I there's no way in fuck I use reused content. Okay, now, okay, here's a weird thing. Here's a weird thing. If we look at my videos here, I have one video called "Don't Watch This, the audio is messed up, I've re-uploaded it." This is just the krill is hallucinogenic, but it has a audio problem. But I didn't delete it because 17 people already like commented on it, including you, Veronica. So I don't know why I didn't delete it. I just unlisted it. Could that be a reason why it's saying that it's not? Also, it says that I'm not allowed to delete anything if I'm going to appeal by video. Does that include unlisted videos? Should I bring that up? I've got 2 unlisted videos on this channel. One of them, and in that video, I watched my own video. Is that reused content? I don't think it's in the spirit of this, where they're saying reused content is going to frustrate the viewer because they don't know what it is. They think it's going to be something different and it ends up being the same. That's not going to be a thing if I'm like, here's me commentating on the video I just uploaded. What went wrong with it? What went right with it? But this one, it won't appear in YouTube search results unless someone adds it to a public playlist. I did like that unlisted video. Do I need to drop it first? Well, here's the thing. Like, if I need to, if that's like, because that's like a stupid, weird technicality, but they're saying I can't delete anything from the channel if I'm doing this by video. Or I could just not watch the video or not do the video, delete this, reappeal, and then see if I get rejected again. But it might not even be that. That's the problem. Did like that unlisted. This is stricter than college plagiarizing scandal standards. I guess. But it's not going to frustrate any viewers because they're not going to find it. It's unlisted. It's not reused. Okay. The video, okay, to check whether your content is reused, our viewers will check your channel to understand how you created, participated, and produced your content. Our viewers may check the channel's videos, channel description, video title, video description. Our reused content policy to your channel as a whole. If you have videos that violate our guidelines, we cannot clearly, or if we cannot clearly tell that you made the content, monetization may be removed from your entire channel. Content that violates this guideline, taking someone else's, making minimal changes, and calling it your own original work. I don't do any of those. I do the first one. I take someone else's content. I make maximal changes, and I don't say that it's my original work. If we cannot tell the content's yours, it may be subject. I mean, if you're blind, you might not know because you wouldn't see the animations I did. Reused content is separate from YouTube's copyright enforcement, which means it's not based on copyright permission or fair use. This guideline means sometimes you may not get claims against your content, but your channel may still violate reused content. More examples of what's not allowed to monetize. Clips of moments from your favorite show edited together with little or no narrative. Short videos you compiled. Nope. Collection of songs. Content uploaded many times. No. Content downloaded or copied from another online source. Content that gets views from mostly non-verbal reactions. There is so much shit to read. If I'm in Russia, I definitely can't do it. That's all that's talking about. All right, well, we've got other big things to work on. After Celine and Bondeni hit the sea, they're sailing toward Australia. Okay? And they have to rescue the quokka. They don't have to rescue the quokka, but that's kind of been my idea, is they're actually going to rescue the quokka. And this is a little ambitious, but I kind of think it would be really cool to have a little thing. So one thing I drew already was an establishing shot of Australia. Like, how do you know you're in Australia? Fucking kangaroo sighting. Quawa. It's pronounced quokka. So you're gonna need to get that right. Quokka. So this is pretty. I like this. But okay, that's one idea. This is just the outro to the video. What's the actual principal video going to be? I don't know. And I've actually been tossing this around in my head that maybe the adventures of Celine will be a standalone video rather than something connected. Although there's sometimes when they sort of can pair together. So after the quokka, they rescue a blue whale. And there's a knowledge fight clip that I kind of want to animate where Alex is talking about how he doesn't understand Moby Dick. And it's pretty funny. Let's listen to it, actually. So I spent a really long time yesterday, probably like 5 or 6 hours of just editing and listening to podcast bits and stuff like that. And this is the Moby Dick story. That's also the Joe Rogan thing. Where the day that Alex like flips out and wants to kill Joe Rogan. So you plan to do all the animals that were adopted by Celine. Exactly. And I think, and we can, feel free to check out the think tank. The think tank is where I've been sort of writing these ideas down. I have what I believe is the full list. I tried putting one list up there and I realized I was missing a lot of them. But it goes like this. Quokka, blue whale, snow leopard, blue-footed booby, possum, gorilla, tree, a tree in Scotland, star, a star, they're going to go to outer space. I mean, come on, this is going to be fucking hilarious. Like every time there's a new thing, like we can imagine a new way they get there. So I might even save the star for last, even though it happens in the middle. Just get all of them onto a starship. Then we got an African rhino, then a pangolin, then a sea otter, then a tree kangaroo. That's our second marsupial. Then a bee, and then a great horned owl. As far as I know, that was the last one. But people can correct me if I'm wrong. One thing too is like, because I'm gonna do these one at a time rather than as one whole video with all the animals. It's going to extend it out a lot longer, and I'll have more time to, fix any mistakes if something happens. I love that as a source of material that also excludes Alex. It's a positive vibe. Yeah, did you notice the last video had 0 Alex in it? It was completely Alex-free. And I found that to be just pleasant, because when you make these videos, you have to listen to this audio over and over and over and over and over again. And it was just kind of nice to not listen to any Alex, just listen to this dumb commercial and nothing else. Okay, so here's the idea. This month, Moby Dick would not be hit for this month. I would probably do it next month. And I'm like, I don't know, 60% sold on this idea here and that I'm pulling up now. Halloween. And sometimes I get this where I'm like, oh, I have an idea. And then I'm like, oh, I'm going to draw that. And then I spend a long time drawing something. And then I'm like, wait, am I going to do this? So here it is. I don't know if this is going to work. It's kind of disjointed, a little random. But I wanted to have like a spooky Halloween themed episode. Oh, shoot. You guys, I'm sorry. I'm going to adjust this. I wanted a spooky Halloween episode. They don't talk much about Halloween or ghosts. There's not a lot of ghost stories. Maybe there's some like Wacky Wednesday stuff, but what I stumbled upon was this. Let's just give it a listen.
You know, I'd love to hammer the heads in of 15 people trying to back me off. I'm not bragging that. That's just when I wake up, is when a whole mob of scum wants to take me on. It's clobbering time at that point. I'm just sick of these bullies. I'm sick of their garbage. And if they got on top of me in a dog pile, I'd just start biting them. I was like 12 years old. Big bloody chunks out of them. They backed off real quick. And then years later, I went a little overboard. I'd find those bullies and stomp their brains out. Okay? I'm not kidding around here. I'm going to pull your teeth out with pliers. And I'm going to gouge your eyeballs out. Then I'm going to stomp your guts out. You like that? Good. You ever had your guts stomped out, but you don't live after that happens? Not that I've ever stomped anybody's guts out. Actually, I have a couple times. It's not too nice. It takes people a long time to die after you stomp their guts out.
What?
Today, we will be going through Alex Jones's various versions of his Halloween 2015
Oh,
story.
fuck yes!
I personally don't like Halloween all that much.
Uh-huh.
As an adult, I don't like dressing up much.
Okay, so I'm pausing here. Another idea was to have Dan and Jordan sitting around a campfire for this one. Because we're going to hear basically Dan's going to tell a funny little anecdote about him as in Halloween as a younger man, which I thought would be a funny drawing. And then Alex tells 4 versions of the same story that happened on Halloween night. All right?
Tend to go too far with it. Like one year I was a monk and I shaved my head like with the ring on top.
You went too far with
I
that.
went too far. I went around with a bottle of Carlo Rossi, the jug wine.
Yes, that's very good.
I was blessing
You were
people.
Friar Tuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And whenever someone like committed a party foul, I made them say Hail Marys and Our Fathers and stuff
Wow,
like that.
Dan,
I committed hard.
You get way too into character.
Which is why I can't handle Halloween.
Yeah.
I just the old acting bug
Yeah.
that I had when I was in high school.
I'm
comes
not a
back.
big Halloween guy either, but
No.
that's because when I was growing up, my parents mistakenly thought it was the devil's holiday
Well,
and kept me from celebrating it in any way because it was evil.
it's Samhain.
And that's when I tried to explain to them pagan rituals. And that did not go over well, considering the fact that I was 7.
So here is what we know.
Yes. Halloween does exist.
I can confirm that.
Okay.
Alex Jones went to a party
Also, true.
that was for his cousin Buckley. It was Buckley's birthday, and it was around Halloween, and Alex Jones went to a fancy dress ball. So let's get to the first version of the story. This one comes to us from November 2nd, 2015. This is the first time that Alex sees fit to tell the story of Buckley's Halloween birthday party.
By the way, I went to my cousin's birthday party, and it was a costume party. You know, that's fun. And I was wearing a captain's hat because he rented a boat and we went out on Lake Austin with a bunch of people and music and drove around. And then I went back, and it was actually a party. He rented a big condo downtown.
So a condo.
And once at the condo, but also once at a restaurant / bar, so we were a bunch of places. I had a white guy once, and then a white girl another time. I said 2 times, actually 3 times. And then a guy that looked like he was Arab, I didn't ask him, come up to me. Beautiful night sky, watching a drone fly around. And he says, "What are you?" So a couple of us were wearing captain's hats. We're going to go out on a boat, so we just went to the store like $2 a piece and got captain hats. And I'm
Thanks.
like, "What is that?" And I turn and I look at him. He goes, "What is that, Nazi?" Because I'm offended by Nazis. And I went, Are you joking? You think this is a Nazi hat? I said, "Yeah, it is." I turned around and squared up to the guy. I said, "Yeah, it is a Nazi hat. Got a problem with it? What if it was a Nazi hat? Why can't I dress up like World War II? But you know it's not a Nazi hat. You want to show off in front of these
Why can't I dress up like World War II? That's the line that made me want to do this. Kind of. I'm just imagining the thumbnail. We get Alex in a Nazi hat saying, "Why can't I dress up like World War II?"
front of these women right here.
Also, I actually cut a lot of the Alex's story because there's 2 aspects of this story. It's that he got confronted by his Nazi hat, and also, on the other hand, oh, hey, thank you, Veronica. Of course. I appreciate you. And I'm really, really happy to hear from you again today. It was really fantastic to see you guys. It's great. But yeah, sleep well, be good. Pop in and out all you want. No, you're always welcome here. And also, you guys can, at any time, 24 hours a day, access the old Discord and throw anything in the think tank or in the general or whatever. Also, look around in the pics or the teasers. Sometimes I throw new stuff in there. Here I was working on thumbnails and stuff. But anyway. So there's 2 aspects of his story. One of them is that he was bugged about his hat. And the other aspect is that people were going around saying that they're not wearing costumes because they have white guilt. All right. Now, the 4 stories altogether was like 15 fucking minutes. So I just chopped stuff down and I eliminated the part about the white guilt. And I'm focusing just on what happened with the people accosting him about his hat. Now, Dan and Jordan are making a big deal as to like where the locations are. And they're like, oh, now it's here, now it's there. Upon listening to these very carefully, I don't think there's like a real big funny contradiction with where he's at. It's like, was he at a restaurant bar or was he at a bar club? Was it a balcony or was it a rooftop? Like, whatever. I don't know. To me, that's not like jarring. What is jarring is the way he describes what happened in the end. So the first time he tells the story, he gets in the guy's face And the guy backs down and says, you know what, actually, I agree with you. And then Alex says, yeah, have a nice day. Right? Like, that's how the first time ends. Let's listen.
Henpeck me to act like I've done something wrong as an act of aggression by you.
Cock.
And this whole cultural jihad that's getting pushed by the left. Isn't that what it's about? He goes, actually, I kind of agree with you. I guess you're right. Oh, good. Have a nice night.
So there is a possibility that he accidentally bought a Nazi hat that I'm allowing as a possibility.
No wonder it was so cheap.
The other possibility is that these people knew who Alex was, and they came up to him and be like, "You are a fucking fascist."
That's entirely possible.
And he thought they were complaining about his hat.
That is entirely possible.
That's possible. That's
right.
Again, this goes back to the unreliable narrator aspect of Alex Jones's life. So let's get into the second version of the story. A week later, on November 9th, he revisits the story.
I had two people on Halloween, because I went to my cousin's birthday party, come up to me and say, "Are you a Nazi?"
That's different.
And I'd laugh and say, "No." They'd say, "Well, I'm offended by your hat. I'm Jewish."
Oh, boy.
And the guy was clearly looked like he was as Arab as they come. And I said, "Are you joking?" And he said, "No." So I went off on him.
So now you're the aggressor.
And then, as I said, I had another person come up to me.
This would
So just taking Alex at face value. A person says, I'm Jewish. Alex says, are you joking? He says, no. And then Alex goes off on him. That's according to Alex. Hey, I'm Jewish. Are you kidding? No. Ah! Like, come on. Like, what? That's what he says. Okay, I'm not putting any words in his mouth. I edited this. All I edited was silence, because he leaves these long stretches of silence. So I cut out a bit of the silence in between. But that's exactly what Alex says.
That's different.
And I'd laugh and say, "No." They'd say, "Well, I'm offended by your hat. I'm Jewish."
Oh, boy.
And the guy was clearly looked like he was as Arab as they come. I said, "Are you joking?" And he said, "No."
So he says, I'm Jewish. And I looked at him and he was Arabic. And I said, are you joking? And he says, no.
So I went off on him.
So I went off on him.
So now you're the aggressor.
And then, as I said, I had another person come up to me
This would have to be the white
and
guy.
do the same thing.
Now we go to November 11th, and he tells
Never
the story
forget.
yet again.
So this is the third time through.
Okay.
Twice at my cousin's party, because part of it was out in public at a restaurant bar.
Okay.
I had people come over about my captain's hat and say, "Are you a Nazi?" And I'd be like, "What? No. Really? I don't like that." And I'd say, "Well, you better get out of my face. Your political correct mind control garbage." And then they'd all grovel and get upset. I go, "Yeah, there's not 15 people now to bully me."
Now they grovel and get upset. They all groveled. Now, as far as I'm concerned, groveling would imply, like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Please forgive me. I did not mean to imply that you were Nazis, good sir. I'm so sorry. Groveling.
I'm just sick of these bullies. I'm sick of their garbage.
So
How many more versions do we have?
we just have one more.
Okay.
Because on the 12th, he revisits the story, on
Okay.
November 12th.
And I experienced this on Halloween. I don't go out and really celebrate Halloween. It's a cultic holiday, but I went to my cousin's birthday party.
Okay.
And I wore a captain's hat, and I had a white person and an Arab person come up and get in my face
White.
aggressively. And I was nice at first, but then I would turn to them, and I got in their face. And I said, "Watch it, man. Don't push your totalitarianism on me." I said, "So what if I am a Nazi?" I said, "You know I'm not a Nazi. You know that's a captain's hat. And you just want to act official and have me kiss your butt. Well, I'm not going to do it. And how dare you get in my face and imply I'm a Nazi?"
So what if I am a Nazi? How dare you imply that I'm a Nazi?
You don't have some moral high ground by getting in my face. Now, I suggest you turn around and you walk away fast. You do that, these people run.
So
now I am 100% convinced he was wearing a Nazi hat. 100% he was wearing a Nazi hat.
I mean, it's conceivable.
Some new experimental DJ Danarchy music. That's another treat we have to looking forward to. Me and Danarchy have been chatting behind the scenes, and I might have some fresh music for you. This is kind of a demo. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just putting this there for you.
And Jordan, I'm sweating.
So we might do something different for the Halloween. So what's the big problem with this? I think it's good, but it doesn't have like a punchline. There's no button on it, you know? There needs to be a punchline. Now, I could do some clever editing and try to, I was even thinking of sticking this part at the end.
The other possibility is that these people knew who Alex was, and they came up to him and be like, "You are a fucking fascist."
Because like have Dan's version of what happened that night at the very end of it.
That's entirely possible.
And he thought they were complaining about his hat.
That is entirely possible.
That's possible. That's
right.
Again, this goes back to the unreliable.
So like if that was how we finish it off.
Possible. That's
right.
Again, this goes back to the unreliable narrator aspect of Alex Jones's life. So let's get into the second.
Oh no, so actually this part would still fucking A. This little part would still be over here.
Again, this goes back to the unreliable narrator aspect of Alex Jones's life.
And Jordan,
I am reminded as I do it, I like the live stream and the drawing content, so I give each thing a like on YouTube as I come across it. So that's how I interact with the channels here for both kudos. I appreciate that. Yeah. This live stream channel is kind of like, I'm definitely not worried about making this one monetized or anything. I mean, like, you have to have at least 1,000 subscribers to even apply for monetization. And you need 4,000 watch hours, which I've only recently got on my Knowledge Fight channel. So, and that's fine. The live stream thing is great for a smaller, more, we're not trying to like show off and like get lots of attention for this. It's really just to reach out and have a few people who are into it, So it kind of like I sort of like people have to really look for it if they want to join. But with this channel, with the kudos too, I definitely want to promote it and get more subs and get more views and all that stuff. By the way, The World's Gone Crazy. Look at how it's performing compared to, no, this is not a good way to say it like this. How it's performing compared to all my other content. So like if I compare, this gray is all the other videos I've put out. And this blue line is this one. So it's pretty good. If we compare it to Stupid Beyond Satire, Stupid Beyond Satire actually was more successful than this one. But both of these are well ahead of the next most popular video. Like if I compare it to The Krill is Hallucinogenic. Look, that's the purple line. Krill is Hallucinogenic is this purple line, which I thought was a pretty wildly successful video. Within one day, I had 2,700 views. Whereas with Krill, I had 1,300 in the first day. So there's good trends, right? Everything's trending up a little more. Like this video is doing better than... I think the best one still, though, is Stupid Beyond Satire. I think I kind of... Something about it really hit it out of the park in terms of the algorithm because it was just stuck on a lot of people's recommended page for some reason. So when I go to like how people found the video, 55% came from YouTube recommendations. YouTube homepage or up next, mostly the homepage. And only 11%, 800 were from like the Reddit posts and stuff. Which is cool cuz I don't know, maybe it's different. I think for my other videos like it was all about the Reddit posts. It was like pretty much the only thing getting me views. Let's compare that to like what would be like formulaic animations was one of the first ones I did. How did people find that video? Oh, this is so weird. Reach? Yeah. 34% was from Facebook. Oh, wait, that's okay. 16% was external. 16 channel pages, recommended view. Browse features. Yeah, I don't know. It's definitely doing better now that I've got a little bit of a presence. I've got over 3,000 subscribers, which is good. Mike Lindell is selling curl oil now. Ooh, do you think that's why he's like so nutty? Has he been taking 10 tablets at a time? Seen Santa Claus? All right. So Halloween is still I'm still not happy with the whole structure of the video. Now I want you guys to hear what I have. This is a long one. This is 9 minutes. No, it's not 9 minutes. It's 6.5 minutes. Let's listen to this one. I actually have to pee, but we're going to listen to my idea. This might be the video for next month or something. We'll see.
Joe Rogan, metaphysically, is a Christmas hog.
Okay.
And I'm going to politically haul him up by his back legs and slit his throat. His blood will fill buckets, politically, not violently. Get ready, Joe.
So,
All
Alex
right.
has turned heel on Joe Rogan.
We're fighting. We're fighting with Joe.
He's going to politically slit his throat and have his blood fill buckets.
All right.
Oh, I loved Joe yesterday. Alex, I still want to be your friend. Oh, Joe, please be my friend. No, Joe, I want you to be my enemy. I don't like you. I'm guilty I was ever nice to you. I knew you were bad news 20 years ago. I want war, Joe. I want war. I don't want to be nice. I'm not asking for something from you, but war.
War.
I'm going to expose everything. I'm going to unwind everything about it. You understand? I'm going to expose all of it, every bit of it, everything. The threats don't matter to me. I'll still be your friend. Joe.
That's not a threat.
I'll never talk to you again. I'll never come on your show again. I'm going to destroy you. I'm going to get you. I'm coming for you. You understand that? Who do you think I am? What do you think I do?
Are we doing a show?
Foolish.
This is
Is
crazy.
this a show? Is this an InfoWars show? Or
Yeah.
is this him, like, leaving weird voicemails
It's very
on
similar.
fucking somebody's dad's home phone?
I like that Alex thinks that him saying, I'm still your friend, I care about you, that's a threat.
That's a threat.
And then he goes, I'm coming for you. I want war. And that's not a threat.
God told me, destroy Joe Rogan. Yes, sir, Jesus. I will do it. No more games. War. Ah! The
Oh,
real
that's
thing.
lame. That's
War.
lame.
The harvest of war is here.
Weak.
No matter what happens to me, Joe, you're done. It's like Captain Ahab and the whale.
So, Jordan, I got a question for you.
What's that?
Do you like literature?
Well, I don't know, Dan. What kind of literature are we talking about?
What do you know about my boy Queequeg? At this point in the show, Alex launches into a discussion about Moby Dick.
We're talking about Moby Dick.
And
I'm
I want
legitimately excited to see what it is, Alex, because I think all he did was read the headline of Moby Dick.
Moby Dick, big whale. Guy obsessed.
White whale. Am I rooting for him? Or, wait, the guy is white too? Oh, shit. All I do is hope Queequeg dies.
I don't think he knows Queequeg.
Fair.
I want to say this. I don't know what his point is. I've listened to these clips. I am not sure. But I do know he has not read Moby Dick. I know that for sure.
No matter what happens to me, Joe, you're done. It's like Captain Ahab and the whale. Moby Dick. You know, is Joe Rogan
Bill Shakespeare.
Captain Ahab or is he Moby Dick? I don't care either way.
What?
The point is,
You should.
is that I sit there with the #1 political show on YouTube that Joe was viciously jealous of and admitted was way bigger than his show.
That's weird. Is Joe Ahab or Moby Dick? I don't know. I don't
Are
care.
you the whale? Are you the captain? I don't know.
Seems important in the metaphor.
Could be anybody.
I guess.
Are there any other supporting characters in that book?
Here's my problem with this. I don't even understand why that started. You know, like, I don't understand why the Moby Dick metaphor started. Who's hunting whom?
I think he's thinking he's Captain Ahab and Rogan is the white whale.
No,
and
I
he's
agree.
going to die taking down the white whale.
Emotionally, where he's at, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
But not based on what he just said.
Well, I kind of don't think he knows if anybody wins in the end.
That's a good point.
I kind of don't think he's like. I think he's like hedging his bets.
He
He's
fell
like,
asleep in the middle
'cause
of
he's
the
like,
movie adaptation.
I am not sure if the whale or the guy won.
Well, get this. In this next clip, Alex tries to take the metaphor into different places
Oh, that's not going to be good.
and interestingly makes it worse.
That doesn't sound possible.
See, Captain Ahab isn't fighting a whale, is he?
See, that's the point where
true.
I'm like,
But that's
the
true.
point where I'm like, Alex, okay.
That's
maybe,
true.
Maybe
You're
you've read
good.
it. Maybe
You've
you
got
read
it.
the Spark
Yeah.
Notes.
Yeah, you're getting it.
Okay.
He's not actually fighting the whale. Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, Alex. That was the only part where I'm like, is Alex going to come correct? Nope.
If you're a whale, you're fighting a big squid 10 times bigger than you. No whale, no sperm whale's ever fought that giant, this little sperm whale. There's a squid this long. That's me.
Now he's a sea monster.
He's a squid.
One of my tentacles can your entire head. I'm going to show you.
Fart
Right?
noise?
One tentacle right now is wrapped around you.
I also discovered something because I found Alex's original, as you can see, like the InfoWars thing. Watch how his producer or whatever is cutting and editing, live editing this. Just watch. We have a nice clear frame of Alex and his face. Watch.
Okay.
One. And don't worry, I'll show you. I'll squeeze you slowly, just slowly. Slowly, the big tough Hollywood guy. Just very slowly till I just squeeze and give you what you want, Hollywood.
Just, I mean, nothing could look less menacing than his pudgy little hand doing a fucking hand job gesture. I think he realized he's like, oh shit, it looks like I'm holding a dick. And then he's like, and he's trying to threaten Joe Rogan like I'm like a fucking squid and this is like my tentacle and I'll squeeze you with it. Fucking idiot.
Squeeze and give you what you want, Hollywood. Because vengeance is God. That's where this all comes from. And so now you get to...
I also had to know what fart noises actually came from Alex and what fart noises came from Jordan. And Alex actually does that fart sound 3 times.
I'm going to show you.
Fart
Right?
noise?
One tentacle right now is wrapped around you.
Okay.
Just one. And don't worry, I'll show you. I'll squeeze you slowly, just slowly. Slowly, the big tough Hollywood guy. Just very slowly till I just squeeze and give you what you want, Hollywood. Because vengeance is God. That's where this all comes from. And so now you get the full heat loads. See, it's just, it's only started.
That's
I
weird.
wish I was an adult.
That's so weird. I
wish
even
I could
forgot
listen to
about
that.
how like his sound effect was just a fart. That's so crazy.
I'm the squid
Isn't
now.
that great?
What?
Isn't that great?
That is great.
What starts with interesting, like, you go, all right.
It doesn't matter because now I'm a squid.
I'm about to choke you out.
He's like a 12-year-old.
Totally.
This is a child where it's like,
He's
oh
mixing
yeah.
up 20,000 leagues under the sea.
My favorite part of Moby Dick was whenever Captain Ahab tragically throwing his spear at the whale and then goes down and then it turns out that there's just a giant squid that ate them both. Mm-hmm. It was a real Twilight Zone twist for Moby Dick to have.
Squidus ex machina.
Yeah.
Sort of ending. Very disappointing on a narrative level.
It actually all turned out to be a dream that the squid was having.
Right.
That is crazy.
Hell on earth. He wants to run your life. He wants to control every aspect of your life because he knows he is a cowardly, degenerate sack of anti-human trash.
All right, Chad. Good night. Thanks for hanging out. It was great to see you. So, yeah, check in sometime in the next coming weeks. I don't have much going on. We're going to just be doing a lot of drawing. I have a lot of drawing to do. So, that's good. Now, it looks as though I've got 4 people viewing. If you're a first-time viewer, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you.
I pledge before my Heavenly Father that I will resist them every way I can. These people are the literal demon spawn of... And you know what? He is better than you if you keep letting him run your life.
It actually all turned out to be a dream that the squid was having.
Right.
That is crazy.
Hell on earth. He wants...
So anyway, with this one, we definitely have the imagery of Alex as a squid. Squid Alex. But also as a Alex Captain Ahab. And possibly an Alex Whale.
Nope.
It's all still way too long. I think the setup I could probably cut out a lot of this Joe Rogan threat stuff and just keep the real juicy stuff.
I'm not asking for something from you, but war.
I just really like that part where he goes, and these threats of, oh, I still want to be your friend. And then Dan's like, that's not a threat. I want to be your friend. You threatening me? Good night, Veronica. Have sweet dreams, and I look forward to talking to you again soon. Keep hanging out. Enemy. So, what should we do? Let's throw on a podcast and draw something. How about it? I think that works. What podcast to throw on? Because I might want to. Oh, we've got lots of stuff that's potentially on deck. There's things that I've edited out. There's Turtle Soup. There's Cyber Satan. There's Homeless Chicken. There's Tiny Bullhorn. There's SeaWorld Story. Alex, the real Alex versus Piers Morgan. The I Think Your Mustache is Cool, actually, from all the way back in episode 10. Dan's Bright Spot, Having a Mevening. That's also the one that has Farting for My Life, which I would like to animate that one as well. Of just Alex's facial expression when he goes, "You're fighting for your life, I'm farting for my life." We have Buckley's Halloween Story. We have, those are there. Alex recounts Moby Dick. We probably have many others that I can't remember right now. But that's okay. The question is, what to do now? What to draw now? I think I want to work I want to draw. Let's just draw some quokkas. I've been drawing quokkas. I need to finish. I need to draw more quokkas. I want to draw a lot of different quokkas, and I want to sort of nail down what our quokka is going to look like. Our quokka, as in the one that Celine will adopt. I want to make sure that it's cute and cuddly. I might go with this one here. But I've been just kind of practicing drawing them and making a few cute ones here, like this one. This one I traced off of like some reference pictures. Isn't that great? Look at him go. Hey, little quokka. They sort of they don't hop like kangaroos. They use their front legs and sort of crawl along, you know? So that's a more like realistic-ish one. This one is a little more cartoony. Although I actually traced this one off a reference picture too. They're just naturally cartoony animals. But these two are not the same quokka. You know, because I'm just kind of drawing these different things. Slightly different colors. But I don't know, man. I'll draw some far away quokkas that are less detailed. And then draw some close-up ones that have a lot more detail like this. And I've got a lot of reference pictures to kind of play with. I might be going a little overboard, but even if I go overboard, I'm still like practicing, you know? I'm still like learning how to do it. So it's not entirely wasted time. I like this quokka. What's going on? Oh, God. Freezing up. Crashing. Crashing on me. Don't crash. Oh, God. There's also the whole Chat GPT thing, which several people have been requesting. Some have been requesting it quite strongly, saying things like, I kill you if you don't do it, you better do it, or I kill you. No, nobody said that, but, you know. People are hungry for it. The problem for me is I just don't see it. In order to do an animation, I have to see it in my head. I have to know exactly which clip has imagery that cries out for someone to record it. Alex just sitting there talking to ChatGPT does not, in my mind, have any interesting imagery at all. And to be perfectly honest, I didn't really find it all that funny. It's sort of funny in its totality, but there's no like punchline of shock of like, oh my God, what did he just say? And then there's no like clip of Dan and Jordan just losing their shit laughing at the thing he said. So for that reason, I just don't know what the fuck to do with the Chat GPT thing. Like, to me, it doesn't really demand an animation. There's no vivid imagery that comes to mind with it. Now, I might be wrong. In fact, I'm sure I'm wrong. It's just a lack of creativity. Also, the fact that I just really haven't listened to those that much. I've listened to them each like twice. And they're long episodes, and if I just keep listening and listening and listening, what am I doing? I'm going to waste my time. So if anyone listening out there has some vision, if you have a vision for how that should be animated, point out a timestamp and describe to me what you think should be drawn there, because I just don't see it. Oh, there's the whole board game thing as well, too. Joe Rogan and Eddie. Cool. All right. I don't know. Aliens, homeless chicken, fish oil. I'm looking at some potential podcast episodes to listen to. The Limerick guy.
Andy in Kansas, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Hello, Alex. I'm a first-time caller. I'm a huge fan. I love your work.
I love you.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Knowledge.
Andy in Kansas, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Hello, Alex. I'm a first-time caller. I'm a huge fan. I love your work.
I love you.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Knowledge Fight. I'm Dan.
I don't even know which episode this is. June 1st. This is definitely an early episode. Let's see. Fudgy. Limerick. Is it this one? This is June 1st through 3rd. What episode is that? Okay. This is episode 148. So let's listen to it. Orange Fight, Ep 148. What have you got for us? Let's check it out.
Andy in Kansas, you're on the air. Thanks for holding.
Hello, Alex. I'm a first-time caller. I'm a huge fan. I love your work.
I love you.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Knowledge Fight. I'm Dan.
I'm Jordan.
We're a couple dudes like to sit around, drink novelty beverages, and talk a little bit about Alex Jones.
Absolutely. Dan,
Oh, boy.
is there a specific hook to this particular day that may be unusual for the two of us?
Today?
Yeah, because you might know a lot about a certain event, and I don't know anything about a certain event.
An event?
I'll be goddamned. WrestleMania. God damn it, Dan. Catch on!
I do know a lot about WrestleMania. You don't know anything about WrestleMania.
See, there you go!
But more specifically to this podcast, I know a lot about Alex Jones.
And I don't know anything about it.
So it's a very similar thing. Something I want to get out of the way real fast before we get into my thoughts about WrestleMania, because I have a ton. I'd like to give a shout out to a new donor. What's going on out there? Someone who I think you'll like their name. What's up out there, Jordan?
I'm a policy wonk.
Thank you so much for joining up with the team.
I got nothing. There aren't really any famous Jordans.
You weren't going to try and say it was you? What about Jordan Peele, right? Key and Peele? Isn't it Jordan Peele?
Oh, I think you're right.
Yeah.
He's famous as fuck.
Yeah.
He wrote one of the best horror movies of all time. Fine. Jordan Peele, thank you very much for donating to the show. How about a goddamn tweet? Huh?
Why is it?
I don't know any Jordans.
Why is it that
Do you know
your
the
name?
the other Jordan I know is the prophecy brother of mine.
Oh, that's true. The cult
Yes.
relation.
Yeah.
So speaking of cults, people are in a
Great
wrestling cult, and
Great
they had their
transition,
high
Dan.
church yesterday
Dan,
as we're
great
recording this
transition.
Sunday for WrestleMania. And boy, I'll tell you what, I think I'm done with wrestling. And it's not.
All right, what?
It's not.
Why was this one the backbreak?
Well, because it's not for the same reasons that a lot of people complain about it. A lot of people are like, it's so predictable, blah blah blah. Everyone complains like that after all of the big pay-per-views.
Okay.
And for me, it was just like I got to about hour 4, and I was like, I don't know why I'm watching this.
Well,
I'm exhausted. I don't
Right.
really enjoy it.
right.
I don't know what's going on.
I think you enjoy your non-enjoyment of it.
To a certain extent. I will say that I had a number of thoughts in my boredom that were troubling.
Uh-huh.
The first is that they don't do a great job. What's
I'm
up?
telling you, do not say that the Jews could be exterminated. I really think that's a bad thought to have during WrestleMania.
Well, that actually comes into this a little bit.
I can't see how it could.
So within the first 10 minutes or so of the broadcast, they played a teaser.
There was a Nazi wrestler? Oh, boy.
So they played like a teaser clip for the upcoming SmackDown Women's Championship match between Charlotte and Asuka.
Right.
And they kept, and this is something they do a lot, they keep referring to Charlotte as being bred for supremacy.
Oh, I don't like that.
It makes me a bit
That's not
uncomfortable,
good.
considering she's like a
Bread?
6-foot-something blonde Aryan goddess.
Okay, well, I mean, Valkyries, I got nothing for this one. I'm going to go with a no. I'm going to go with a hard pass on this one.
And I grant that her dad is Ric Flair, and that he used to be involved with a group called Evolution. And so there's some of these like
I don't know what a group called Evolution is. He a genetic birther kind of guy?
No,
is he
it was
like
sort of like the evolution of wrestling. We're the next evolution of it. Or
Oh,
something
okay.
Like
All right.
It's related to them, but
So thematically, you're saying that there might be a defense.
right, but it still doesn't feel good.
No,
it doesn't
no.
feel good when you have a fucking super tall, beautiful, blonde white woman who's bred for supremacy. It's very
That's not
uncomfortable.
great. That's not great.
So that's in the first couple
Who is
minutes.
the lady named? Who is the lady in Red Sonja though? She was married to Flavor Flav or something.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know the?
Oh yeah,
She was in,
Brigitte
the-
Nielsen.
Brigitte Nielsen. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know.
I'm just
don't know how that
naming. I'm
relates.
just naming Valkyries at this point.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So the
Who else you got on your top 5 Valkyrie list?
I don't know. But the other thing that made me uncomfortable, and this is something that I understand isn't like necessarily a real criticism, but they played this teaser that's kind of, it has a little bit of a Nazi feel to it in some ways.
They know their audience.
And then they had the men's battle royal, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, right? And so it's about 30.
Wait, did they say it Battle Royal?
I don't know. I don't care. They had 30 dudes in the ring, and they're all fighting with each other.
Yes.
And Matt Hardy ends up winning. And
Oh, I hate it when he wins.
Matt Hardy has a thing that he does where he deletes people. That's his sort of gimmick.
Oh, no.
And he has a hand gesture for delete.
No, I don't like a hand gesture.
And it's a hand gesture that's like this, making a delete like a minus sign,
like
kind of
like an X on
Yes,
the throat, like
somewhat.
a
Not
like
exactly
a,
on the throat,
but yeah.
And it's not a Nazi salute. But boy, when it's 70,000 people doing it in an arena, it feels very close.
Ooh, that's not good.
So that's within like the first 10
I kind of
minutes
don't like
I'm watching.
70,000 people doing anything together. That kind of bums me out.
Yeah. So anyway, it dragged on, and I guess some of it was good, but the only high point for me, and I know that I'm, I'm going to sound like the fucking stupidest wrestling fan in the world. But there's this really giant guy named Braun Strowman.
Yes.
And he had a shot at the tag team titles, but he didn't have a
Yes.
partner. So he had,
I've heard this one because my longtime buddy Matt Elfring
Yes.
writes about wrestling for GameSpot.
he
I think.
does a great
And,
job over there.
Yes, he was very excited about the
He
10-year-old child.
Picked a 10-year-old kid out of the audience. He won the tag team.
Is he going to come back?
I don't care.
Is the 10-year-old going to come back? I feel like he has to be a plant, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I don't care. I love the absurdity of it, and I don't give a fuck. It's very fun.
Yes.
And then the main event was Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, and like everyone complains about all that shit because it's a very repetitive match. It's happened a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And people are just kind of tired of it. I don't really care about that aspect of it, but Roman's head ended up bleeding a lot.
Oh, okay.
And I was watching it, and I was just like, this is gross. This is disgusting. Like, I don't care if he cut himself like they do sometimes in wrestling.
Yeah,
or if
like-
it was
like
actually from a
I
strike.
learned that in the great movie The Wrestler.
Yeah, they played. I don't care really what the situation was. It was grotesque, and seeing it made me very sick. And in between the just not really enjoying
Is he a member of the royal family? Does he have that hemophilia?
Mm,
You know, that's okay.
I don't know.
All
I
right.
did really enjoy NXT TakeOver New Orleans, though. That was much
okay.
better because it's
Yeah.
much shorter.
You've become the old movie critic who's like,
A little bit.
Listen, hey, it was a great movie. Could have cut 10 minutes out.
Meanwhile,
Could have cut 10 minutes out. No big deal. You could have cut 10 minutes out.
Meanwhile,
I don't like an hour and 40 long minute movie. Give me an hour and 30.
Meanwhile, we do a 9-hour episode about Endgame. So, who am I to fucking talk? Anyway, I thought it was fine, but I don't know. I don't know how much I'm going to be watching in the future. But
Okay.
I am excited about
Do you
a 10-year-old tag team
Do
champion.
you mean exactly as much?
Yeah, probably.
Because every time you get disillusioned after every single pay-per-view.
God.
And you keep going back, Dan.
Yeah, that's just boredom. Anyway, today, Jordan.
Thank you to our new donor, Jordan.
Yes.
That was what that was
Thank
dedicated
you so
to.
much.
Yes.
Today, what we're going to be going over is we're going to go back to the past. We're deep in the past today because Alex has been out of studio since Thursday.
Okay.
He is going to Washington, D.C. to do his press conference.
Which, as we know, is a 4-day long trek via covered
Stagecoach?
wagon.
Yes.
Yeah, is that what we're doing?
I assume.
Okay.
So he had Owen Schroyer hosting on Monday. He had Mike Adams hosting on Sunday, and then they just had a best of on Friday. So there's not a whole lot to work with here. And we're recording this on Monday, and I'm going to put it out on Tuesday instead of Wednesday this week because we might need to have an emergency recording.
Yes.
With the press conference.
Yeah.
So
I see what you're saying.
We need to not be backloaded or
Okay.
anything. We need to have
All right.
forward progress
All right.
for this ridiculous press conference that's going to be happening on Tuesday. So I decided, let's go back to the past.
Yes.
And we have been going...
Like that movie.
Yes, the second one of them.
Yeah, Back to the Past.
The third one, where they had
Where they
like
went
an
back to the
old-timey
past.
train.
Yeah. That was a great one.
So, Jordan, we had been going back to 2008, looking at stuff, and I've come to the issue that I keep listening to episodes, and they are like clips of interviews that he did on a previous episode spliced together and stuff.
Okay.
And it's very unreliable for me to get through, and it's just a time suck in 2008. So I decided to jump forward a bit. And so we find ourselves in June 2009. And today we're going to be going over the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd of June 2009. And just seeing what we find. Let's see what happens.
Oh man, your ability to put your cards behind your vest. I don't know what's the saying there.
Keep them
Keep
close.
them close to the vest. Yes.
Yes.
Keep them tight. Not good. You're not good at it.
No, I mean we're gonna find a lot of interesting stuff. There's gonna be some ooh boys, and some just like it's interesting to see a snapshot of Alex Jones from almost a decade back.
Okay.
And I have experience. I've listened to a bit of these 2009 episodes, and it's much more like it's a radio show as opposed to in 2008 where it's like sometimes it's a radio show and then sometimes here's a mishmash of shows for a week or whatever.
Okay.
So. We will go back to 2008 eventually because we got to cover like the election and
Right.
stuff like that.
Right.
We'll go back and find
Who
those.
wins?
Obama. I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think we all lost.
Like a Alien versus Predator situation.
Exactly. Whoever wins, we lose.
So we start here on June 1st, 2009.
Yes.
And the first thing that I noticed right away is that Alex has a very different way of, like, his callers are very different back then. His callers are all in it for themselves. And if
Okay,
they're going,
now I'm interested. Because nobody's buying products. They don't have products to buy. Nobody opens with, like, hey, Alex, first off, love your hair product or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that kind of thing.
There's no formal, like, at the beginning of the call just being like, I love Micro Z X or whatever.
Yeah.
So what they do instead is they go into business for themselves.
Okay.
And they try and promote their shit. Here's the first example of that.
Birdman in Florida, you're on the air.
Birdman loves.
Hey, brother Alex, how you doing?
Good, Birdman.
Congratulations on the Oscar.
Great. I really appreciate your program so much. If you give me a couple of relaxed minutes, I want to ask you if I can tell people about my old punk band, 1984.
Okay, go ahead and tell us about your punk band.
Fuck yes!
So,
Fuck yes.
we've got Birdman calling in.
Give me this. Hey, Alex, I just want to tell you about my mixtape. Oh, give it to me all day.
Already this show feels very different.
I love it.
Yeah.
I
so,
love it.
But you can hear that sort of
Hey, Alex, can I get the directions to the Walmart?
You already hear like an exasperated tone in Alex, like, tell us about your
Yeah,
punk
go.
band.
Go.
So,
It's a punk band, whatever.
here's where that goes.
Well, from 81 to 85, that's all we ever sung about was everything that you guys talk about. And I would like to get someone to overdub some of your voices on some blank tracks from your programs to scream about the same thing. It's myspace.com.
No free plugs.
MySpace. It's amazing that in 81 to 85 he was screaming about 9/11 trutherism. That's the most amazing thing.
Yeah, but
That's a great punk band.
Alex
man.
puts up with it and is just like, all right. Then a little bit later, we get another call.
MySpace.com.
We get another call from another guy.
Well, what I wanted to call and tell you today, I had two things I want to say. You've been a great inspiration to us here at We Are Change, North Carolina. I'm a member and co-organizer of that. And I've got me a radio show starting on Saturday mornings coming up, starting this Saturday. You mind if I throw a quick plug on it real quick?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. It's called Eternal Vigilance with Justin Prim on revolutionbroadcasting.com. They're going to run it from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. First shows this week. I'm extremely proud of the opportunity to get a chance to do this. And Alex Jones is my inspiration.
Spoiler alert, that show is no longer on.
Oh, did Eternal Vigilance flame out?
I think it might have, yes. But you see, there's this sense that, like, Alex, people think of Alex as, like, a way that I can get my thing out.
Right.
Back at this point, which is
Because you
pretty
didn't
interesting.
fucking care.
Yeah, and Alex is kind of still operating on some sort of, like, local radio vibe. Like a almost public access show kind of feel.
I like the
get
idea
your thing out.
of somebody giving out their website in a 10-second clip. Like, because if you've ever given anybody a website, they're like, okay, spell that for me.
Yeah.
And somebody, they're saying, like,
Alex's listeners can spell vigilant.
Either people are on their computer ready to type it in as I speak, or people are recording this and are willing to listen back to it to get it right. There's no way that this is a good idea.
Yeah, it's and I think that probably...
Which is why I feel like our many, many calls into Coast to Coast AM haven't worked out.
No, absolutely not.
No.
I just think it's fascinating that that's sort of the vibe that's going on with Alex at this point. It's entertaining. And then we get to
he's like a local radio station guy. He's like one of the failed comedians from the 80s who became a regional radio station DJ of some sort.
Yeah.
They do promotional, like, oh, we're going to show up outside the minor league baseball's first day of the year, like that kind of guy.
Yeah. And a lot of the narratives that he's selling aren't really even worth going over. They're all kind of just nonsense. Like he's screaming about how everything's about to collapse, which you can understand that sentiment in 2009. Certainly, that was probably a prevailing feeling.
Well, it's
that
a
people
weird
had.
thing to feel whenever everything had already collapsed.
Also, he reads an article about society about to collapse from Pravda, which is fun.
Do they sell those purses?
Yes. The devil wears Pravda. He also screams about how Congress is being blackmailed, but he doesn't mention anything about
Doesn't mention Larry Nichols?
No.
That?
He said sooth. He also doesn't bring up his whole cosmology about pedophile blackmail or anything like that. It's just some sort
It's just regular old blackmail.
It's just nebulous ideas of blackmail. He screams about how Supreme Court Justice nominee Sotomayor is a racist. He goes on some of that.
You know what? She's actually done a really great job. Like whenever I remember her confirmation and reading up on her, and the consensus at the time was very much like, well, she's more of a centrist liberal, like center left kind of judge. And since then, if you read her decisions, she's been pretty hard towards the left.
Mm-hmm.
I like her.
Cool.
I like Sotomayor.
Well, someone who Alex likes...
I give her my retroactive endorsement.
Someone who Alex gives an endorsement to now
Great choice.
is a guy by the name of Eric Prince, who runs Blackwater.
No!
Or ran Blackwater, which has now changed its name a number of times.
Great episode of The Dollop.
Yeah, Alex now calls him a great patriot and a hero because he's involved with a lot of Trump's shady dealings and is deeply involved with Trump. Let's hear what he was saying about Blackwater back in 2009.
Cold-blooded murdering thugs.
Yep.
That's the same thing that Blackwater Worldwide's doing all over the planet right now. They work for the people that are bringing down this country.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
No, he's nailed it.
Right. But how
They
do you
still work for those very same people.
how do you go from there to abandoning that?
Well, Trump got elected.
Well, yeah, of course.
See, it's very simple.
That's it.
Every single conservative principle that has ever been held has been demolished by Trump.
It's a very,
Absolutely.
It's very interesting, though, that it applies to Alex Jones's conspiracy world just as equally.
Yeah.
You know, the idea,
Exactly.
The idea that he's selling a pretty accurate picture that Blackwater are murdering thugs and death merchants.
Pretty much.
And then I just conveniently forget that the same guy who ran that is now someone who I yell about it being a great patriot.
Well, he doesn't run it anymore. He probably left due to morality concerns.
Right. Yeah,
that was
probably.
something that if I know anything about Eric Prince, it's that morality is high on his list.
Right. And so it's weird. It's you see these inconsistencies, and certainly there's a ton of them. But one thing that is pretty consistent through Alex Jones's early career that we're finding is weird commercials.
Okay.
So we love, of course, anytime we get to hear a new country song from Diamond Gusset.
Absolutely.
I
want to know where to hide my guns pre-2015.
This won't top those, but boy, it's weird.
Summer's coming, and now's the time to learn self-sufficiency. If you're going to eat from nature's bounty of wild edible plants, remember, there's a learning curve. Experience is the best teacher, but that means time. To speed it up, you'll need to build on the wisdom of a teacher who has lived it. Author Linda Runyon is that teacher. Her Wild Food Knowledge Package is the crash course. The DVD gives you a 3-hour overview of her world directly from her. The book gives you an in-depth reference with all of the insider know-how you'll ever need. And her wild cards are your portable summary and cheat sheet for your field work.
Wait for
This
it.
three-pronged learning
Wait
system
for it.
will take you from spectator to scholar to gourmet survivalist in weeks, not years. Folks, I can vouch that Linda's the real deal. She's my mom, and I watched her do it. So go to upthefield.com or call 888-51-EAT-FREE. Start now. Knowledge is power. Better take action. I think a storm's coming.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes to all of that. I want that book now.
I could vouch for her. She's my mom.
She's
Great.
my mom.
Wild. And then that end there where it's like, better take action. There's a storm coming. And then long thunderstorm sound. Very
Too
weird.
long.
Very
Too
weird.
long.
Very uncomfortable.
Too long was that thunderstorm sound.
Can't come up with enough copy to fill this 30-second spot. Better have a thunderstorm sound effect. Yikes. Yikes.
Tell me more about a gourmet survivalist.
Well, you got to get some leeks and ramps. You got to get some of those great mushrooms that you can find in nature.
Right. Well, but a lot of those are poisonous.
That's
Now,
why you need that book.
admittedly, the greatest teacher is experience, which I feel like they should not be selling on their ad for don't eat this bullshit.
If you have enough time, you don't need this.
Yeah, exactly.
But time is short. There's a storm coming. So, we know that one of Alex Jones's consistent principles throughout his life has been opposition to abortion, except for the 10 that he got when he was younger.
Right.
And in this next clip, he discusses the shooting of an abortion doctor. And,
I remember this one.
And this is fucked up.
Hey, domestic white terrorism never happened.
This is super weird, the spin he takes on it, and
Okay.
the historical comparison he decides to make.
Okay.
Now, that said, remember John Brown, who in Kansas, they've got no fewer than 14 statues? I looked it up this morning at the State House, you name it. John Brown, the abolitionist, killed a whole bunch of people, slave owners.
Well,
He massacred 9 in Kansas, 9 slave owners, killed them dead in a hammer, shot them through, then led an army of white abolitionists and blacks on an armory in another state,
Or just
killed a bunch of people.
abolitionists.
And the state honors him for assaulting the military and police and killing them. And they got statues for him all over Kansas. Now, I'm not defending John Brown. Abraham Lincoln, said that he was a misguided soul.
You should defend John. Fucking.
But you got to ask why state houses and why county seats all over the country and why black community centers all over the country have statues to John Brown, who went around killing white slave owners.
Hold on.
Now, are those blacks human beings? Yes, they are. Are those babies human beings? See, this is the warped situation. If we win and defeat the New World Order and stop the killing, 50-plus million babies, is that enough? Will there be statues to this guy?
Whoa.
I'm only asking the question.
I'm going to go with no.
I don't think
it's a very easy question
people
to answer.
should go around killing abortionists.
Don't
because it'll make them into victims, and that's the only way they're going to be able to continue peddling their trade.
Yikes. Yikes.
Weird outro music.
Yeah, that logic
Weird outro music
is insane.
Well, I mean, when you consider how many statues are for slave owners, I'm way on board with statues for slave murderers.
Sure.
Or not just slave owner murderers, not
right.
The slave owners were slave murderers.
I think everyone understood what you were
All
saying.
Right.
I think that when you really take a step back and look at what is going on here, what you see is that the guy who shot an abortion doctor is not doing that because he's motivated by the plight of the unborn.
I really don't think so.
They're usually doing it because they're threatened by the idea of women's autonomy and want to commit terrorist acts in order to scare people out of being abortion doctors.
Do you mean all anti-abortion people?
But yeah, exactly. I mean, what you're doing is when you kill an abortion doctor is you are trying to reinforce a status quo that is not equitable. In fact, I would suggest that what you are is the equivalent of the slave owner in in the metaphor. So you're killing an abolitionist is what you're doing.
What I would say is
right
in the same vein. If you kill Jeff Bezos, I will make a statue for you.
You can make a statue?
If somebody kills Jeff Bezos, I'll learn.
Okay.
God damn.
You're crafty. So,
yes, I am crafty.
So that's fucked up. I thought that was really disturbing, by and large. But the thing that I thought was even more disturbing is that back in 2009... Go ahead.
He's comparing... to a certain extent, I kind of understand from... If you are taking his standpoint in good faith, the idea that an abortion doctor... because unborn children are people,
right?
Then that's a murderer, right? If you believe that, if you truly believe that, I can understand why somebody murdering a murderer to you,
right?
A state-sanctioned murderer is a positive moral act.
Yeah.
But no.
Well,
I'm going to go with a hard no on that one.
The other problem that I have with that is the title abortion doctor is silly. Because that's suggesting that there are people, or like this guy who got killed is just like, all day I abort. That's all I do, baby.
Can you get a specialty in med school of just abortions?
I mean,
like you don't have to learn about any diseases. You just have to learn about murdering.
Maybe
in their words, babies.
I don't know. I don't think so. But listen. We got to move along. We have a lot of road to cover here.
Oh, okay.
And the thing,
I'm derailing this whole thing.
This next clip is super wild. Because back in 2009, Alex Jones's callers were either pitching their own stuff or calling him out for things. And in 2009, Alex Jones can handle criticism.
Okay.
Listen to this guy call in.
He sucks it up?
Kind of. I mean, it's not good, but he doesn't get mad.
So I find you extremely difficult to believe most of what you say at this point. This
then why are you still listening?
Bird flu thing, you blew completely out of proportion. You said you were losing touch with your ability to think a couple of weeks ago. I think you should admit you're a right-winger for one and quit saying you're trying to break the left-right paradigm. Hello?
I'm listening to you.
Okay, and this guy called in Friday to your show. Jason was the host, but Jason was real trite with the guy. The guy was going to disagree, and he was going to say that you guys are, picking on Obama a whole lot more than Bush, which I totally agree with that.
Good call.
And I want to back that guy up, but Jason wouldn't listen to the guy. He just got really trite, really smart-alecky with him. And the guy ended up just kind of hanging up during the break and never got any points out. But I would say that we're being bombarded with Obama being the tip of the spear. Bush wasn't the tip of the spear. He was kind of like a good old boy who you kind of liked underneath. You're kind of like.
If you kill him, you get a statue, too.
I want to say that mining gold causes mercury poisoning. Are you familiar with this?
I know that, I know there's a lot of mining that has bad byproducts.
The two deepest mines in the world, gold mines, are in South Africa.
I'm not sure where he's going with that.
What is happening?
There was like 177 blacks fried in a gold mine in South Africa. And
Sir, I appreciate your call. Sir, listen, I gave you about 2 minutes to run on there and say I'm a right-winger. I'm not a right-winger or a left-winger.
So I disagree with you, but doesn't get mad at him. He lets him speak his piece.
I also feel like Midnight in the Garden of Good Evil is trite. I feel like that's troublesome. We haven't seen it yet, but I'm guessing there'll be a musical about Hamilton. That's trite. That's super trite.
That is an unheard of amount of time for criticism to be allowed on the air these days.
Bananas.
And even if Alex Jones did let someone say that many pretty critical negative words about him, and accurate, you're way more against Obama than you were against Bush.
Oh, 100%.
That sort of thing. He would come back from it and start fucking screaming at him.
Oh, of course.
Just he has that commercial he even plays where he screams at that Frank guy. Frank, I need your help, Frank.
Right.
That he always makes jokes about.
The first thing that he would say in response to this now is like, I understand your criticism. I'm not saying it that I'm treating him differently because he's black. And you'd be like, well, he didn't point that out.
He would change. He'd create a straw man version of the complaint.
Yeah.
And to some extent, he still is because he's claiming that he's not a right winger. Which his soul lives on the right.
Super hard.
So at the end of this episode,
his soul lives on the white, Dan.
At the end of this episode, we get a delightful appearance from one Jesse Ventura.
Hey!
Jesse Ventura comes in and they have a nice time having a chat. Jesse is smart. He's making independent-minded opinions, and people keep bringing up points, and he's just like, well, how would you do that? People talking about, dumb policy ideas, and he's like, well, logistically, what do you think that would look like? And people have no answer. It's amazing.
I love Jesse Ventura every time he shows up on the show.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
With the exception of that, Chris Kyle saga, I've liked everything,
that's
every
a
one
good
of
point.
his appearances.
That's a good point.
He gets Alex to admit that he supports the opening up of Cuba.
Right.
Back in 2009, Alex was for the idea of opening up Cuba.
He was against it when it happened.
And then they talk a bunch about how Mancow had recently done a publicity stunt where he allowed himself to be waterboarded.
Mancow's a piece of shit.
No, he doesn't really say that. I think he's kind of on board with Mancow.
Yeah.
But they talk about how Mancow had been. Do you remember this? He got waterboarded as a publicity stunt.
I do remember that, and he lasted 2 seconds and was like, "No, this is fucking torture.
This is bullshit."
Oh fuck!
Yeah.
Oh shit! All the things that I believed for a long time aren't true.
Right. And so they talk a bit about that, and Jesse Ventura's like, "Of course it is." That sort of thing. I don't need to do that to know that. It's pretty nonsensical. A lot of it's not really even worth listening to. But there's one clip that I think elevates to the level of greatness, where we learn something very important about Alex.
Okay.
I tell you, surfing's very addictive, isn't it, Jesse?
Yes, it is, and it's very difficult, and people don't realize that it's a life dedication. And I love to say this: if people were that dedicated to a religion, would they call them religious bums?
I'm as brown as a coconut from the beach. I love the beach itself. We'll be right back.
Yes! That's a top 10 throw to break.
There you go.
That is a top 10 throw to break.
Solid.
I'm as brown as a coconut from the beach. I love the beach itself. We'll be right back.
Pre-show, we were talking to AC Slater, and that is an AC Slater move right there.
No doubt. That's Lopesian.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. That's very fun. And that brings us to the end of June 1st.
Oh.
Now we go to June 2nd. And this shows a lot of it's a lot of hot garbage. There's not a lot going on.
Alex, I'm still on hold.
He starts the show off with an interview with Mancow about this publicity stunt that he had done, and Alex is like, I think I should get waterboarded, see how long I can make it. And like, yeah, you're just trying to get a runoff publicity stunt out of this.
Yeah.
It's not worth listening to at all. But
Also, you're too much of a weakling
he'd
to
probably
actually
last
do it.
10 seconds.
Oh no,
2
he
seconds?
wouldn't do it.
Yeah, probably not.
He's afraid. Also, no, because he's seen Mancow fail so miserably at it, he has to realize I'm probably going to fail too. And if I fail super fast, I'm fucked.
And Alex's stated position at this point is already that it's torture. So he has nothing to really prove about it other than yup.
Yeah.
Which he could just say based on Mancow's video. But anyway, Mancow's on, and it's not worth listening to at all, except for this small clip.
Eric Mancow Muller, syndicated radio talk show host. Sally. That's right, Sally. We've decided to start calling him Sally.
You know, I like when you spank me and call me Sally.
Fake
Man,
laugh.
you are something else. I was saying, should I call you Eric Mancow Muller? And you said, call me whatever I want. And I said, okay, I'll call you Sally. And now your new name will be Sally.
Whatever. How are you, Alex?
I was about to say something really horrible.
You trouble.
What was he going to say? He doesn't say. He never says. So, Eric Mancow, I wish I would have heard this before I was on Mancow, and I just could have called him Sally the whole time.
That would have been great.
God damn it, he sucks. But the rest of the interview is
He's the worst piece of shit.
The rest of the interview is just him talking about his waterboarding, and who cares.
Right.
A little bit later, he gets a visit from a guy named Mike Rivero, who does a show called What Happened With, I believe is the name of it. It's another show.
Bad title.
It's another show on the GCN radio network, Genesis Communications network.
What about Stuff?
He got kicked off the radio network.
Too much happened.
He got kicked off. Let me find. I got to pull vamp for a second here because I got to find the exact quote.
Vamp for a second. Coming up next month in May, I will be in Zany's all month, 6 nights a week.
This is not what I meant by vamping.
I'll Zany's downtown Chicago.
It's terrible.
I'm not vamping. I'm not going to vamp for you.
This is terrible.
What do you want me to do? A Jesse Ventura impression? I've already failed miserably at that.
Couldn't hurt. So he was a host on the Genesis Communications Network. The show is called What Really Happened with Mike Rivero. He was a host until about 2010 when he left, according to him, because he and Alex Jones did not see eye to eye on Israel.
So what really happened, Dan?
Mike is staunchly anti-Israel and felt that Alex was becoming more and more pro-Israel as time went on. His statement about moving his show off the Genesis Communications Network included the following, quote, GCN is a reflection of Alex Jones's views on the world, and more our points of view regarding Israel are diverging. I guess the breaking point was his rant in which he said that anyone who is a critic of Israel is a weak-minded fool. So he's a guy who, that's in his future at this point when he's on the show. At this point, they're still buddies and what have you. But they have a breaking point over relative levels of support for Israel.
Which is... Where are we at now with Alex's support of Israel?
He's pro.
He's pro-Israel.
Yeah, but I think it's more... He couches it...
But like in a vague way, right?
He couches it more as like they're one of the only nationalistic countries left. In the same way he supports Russia because he views them as one of the only nationalistic countries left.
Okay.
So he has sort of like this...
So he's a big fan of governments that murder people for no good reason.
Mysteriously, that seems to be all the anti-globalist countries.
Really seems to be nice. Like the guy who
Philippines.
Has he said anything about the guy who was elected in Hungary?
No.
Oh.
He avoids any of that sort of conversation.
Yeah, I would too if I were Alex.
So anyway, Mike Rivero's on, and it's a boring interview, but he does say one thing that I think is worth noting, and it's kind of, Alex would never allow something like this on the show now, I don't think.
Every major war was ultimately lost by the country that started it. So guess where that sets us up? I'm not surprised our soldiers are committing suicide in such numbers. They know they're the bad guys.
Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow, is that intense?
I don't think Alex would allow someone to say something like that about soldiers now. I think he's so pro-military and pro-cop now that he wouldn't allow that sort of shit. At this point in 2009,
and not because it's wrong.
No,
not because historically that's the dumbest shit you can say.
If you looked at every single war that's ever been fought and tried to figure out did the aggressor win or lose?
Well, you have to, because he said major war, which means he's classifying the wars that he thinks are major and all other wars. Like, what
World War One?
Right. No, I get. He's talking about what? 3 wars?
Maybe. I don't know.
Is he classifying the Korean War and the Vietnam War as
conflict.
major wars?
It's a police action. I don't know, but I do think that it's a sort of very, at least distasteful thing to say that, of course, these soldiers killed themselves. They know they're the bad guys. Even from my position, I think that's not a good thing that's not a good position to hold.
I don't know. What? No. Hold on. Before I get into any trouble for my position, it's just I don't think it's because they know they're the bad guys. I think
there's a different way to phrase a similar sentiment in terms of like PTSD and grief and guilt about things that you're made to do or made
survivor's
to be a part
guilt.
of.
Your friend died, and so you feel like you should have been there to save him.
Right, because in this position, the way he's presenting it is like, good. Kill yourselves. You're the bad guys.
Yeah, he's the Westboro Baptist Church.
That's ugly. And this is kind of ugly, too. This next clip, I think Alex is expressing an opinion that it's pretty cool to kill cops.
Okay.
Or, I mean, I'm not saying my generation, or even if it's beyond my generation, isn't going to have to make sacrifices. If you're going to have a revolution, if you need...
Well, I'll tell you what's going to happen. People are going to try to CPS people's kids, and it's happening more and more. I see it in the news every week. And people are just going to kill them. And cops are going to stop people at a checkpoint, and the citizens are just going to get out. And it's already starting to happen. And the media kind of keeps it quiet. But you see the reports all the time. It's usually old vets, Korean War, Vietnam. Most of them are dead now, but they've had a couple cases in Austin where World War II vets would get pulled over and harassed by cops in Hays County. And the old vet would just get out and kill them. It's like, buddy, I'm not your slave. This isn't Nazi Germany. You're dead. And, the cop can argue about that all day and have the media say the old man was bad. But at the end of the day, there's going to be a lot of blood, and the system knows that. And, look, if we're self-sufficient, they can't beat us. That's why they want to shut down the farms and ranches and get control.
That's very weird.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's too far for me.
That's justifying murdering cops.
Bananas.
At like DUI checkpoints.
Oh, no. These are white people murdering cops.
Right.
So it's fine.
That should be important.
It's fine.
I mean, that is...
Let's point out these are 100% white people murdering cops in Alex's worldview.
See, now we got to skip right ahead to the third. That's it for the second. The third is where we're going to focus.
The third is where we get the whitest.
The third is where we're going to focus most of our attention. No, this is a refutation of what you're saying. Now, Alex says something about the cops negatively to start out the third. Now, granted, I don't like the way he keeps saying blacks in this clip.
Not good.
But listen to the spirit of this clip and think about what you were just saying.
Listening to one of the local talk stations, and a caller calls in and talks about how blacks continue to be killed, shot in the back, homeless blacks, retarded blacks, autistic blacks.
You
blacks
can stop.
In their cars at night. And there's always an excuse for why it happens. And the squad car videos always malfunction. And then we always find out, it didn't malfunction. There is a surveillance camera. And then they say, but he had a gun. Then you read the news article closely. At the bottom it says, no, officers thought he reached for a gun. Just deception.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that position.
Holy shit!
Look at that position that
Alex Jones has been kneeling for the national anthem this whole fucking time.
I mean, in 2009, he has a position of the cops are trying to cover up murdering black people, pretending that they have guns, which is an accurate depiction of... I mean, there was just the other day that guy in Brooklyn with a shower head.
I don't know how to deal with this.
It's very, very weird.
He's dead on.
Right. Now...
He's dead on. Like, not even
except,
wrong.
Except for some of the language is uncomfortable.
It's not great. It's not great, but his sentiment is there.
Right, which we can appreciate.
It's not even like it's not even like we normally agree with him where he's right in the wrong way. Like, he's dead on.
Mm-hmm.
This is 100% accurate. Cops are murdering black people, and they are covering it up, and that's something that needs to stop.
Yep, it was a problem in 2009. It's still a problem, but Alex has changed his tune.
It was a problem in fucking 1860.
Alex has changed his tune aggressively since then, and now has his aggressively pro-military and pro-cop positions. And I think that's because he's been told, perhaps, that that's his big audience base or whatever. But
well, is it that, or does it really just come down to team sports?
I don't know.
Like, was it possible for the right wing to also at this time be like, hey, cops shouldn't be killing people? And then it became a thing where a black person talked about it, and they can't abide by that.
I mean, it's possible. One of the things that I hope to track as we go forward in 2009, I have a subtle reason for why. Well, it's not subtle. I have a bigger reason for why I'm doing this. But one of the other reasons is I want to figure out like his trajectory as it relates to like at this point being very anti-military and anti-cop.
Yeah.
And seeing where that changes. I think it's because of Obama.
Of course it is.
I think it's just because Obama's president and he thinks that all of them are tools of Obama's machinations and what have you.
Right.
But I don't know if that's the case. So I'm gonna follow that moving forward.
So
we'll see.
So if I understand correctly, kind of what your point of view is on this one is that maybe the reason that he's against the military and the cops right now is because ultimately he believes it's headed by a black person.
Maybe.
And when it becomes headed by a white person, it's fine.
I don't think it's that simple, but I don't know if that plays into it. I don't know if we'll ever be able to answer that question either.
We've already answered that he's a racist.
Right.
So.
Right, no doubt. But I don't know if we can I don't know if he could even answer that question, quite
That's
frankly.
a good point.
But I know that, like, one of the things that fascinates me the most is, like, things that are different. You know, like, Blackwater, he was against it in 2009, loves Eric Prince now.
Yeah.
That's easy to explain. It's Trump.
Right.
It's Trump-related. That's simple, but that's a huge giving up of your principles. In this case, I'm very fascinated in where did the pivot go of, like, cops are evil, they're supporting a terrible system, to I love cops. Sometimes you got a bad one, but it's very rare.
Right.
That sort of rhetoric. I don't know, and we'll see. But he goes on to talk about another caller.
Speaking of which, a thought that just popped into my mind as far as Alex talking about right now. In 2009, how many abortions do you think Trump has paid for?
No idea. Hold on to that thought, though.
A lot?
Hold on to that thought.
A bunch.
We got to get through this next clip first.
Perhaps a barrel, even.
A grip of them.
Yes.
In this next clip, he goes on talking more about this radio show he was listening to.
Yeah.
Where it is talking about these African Americans who've been shot by the police.
Uh-huh.
He talks about a caller, and I think that she's just a racist, but he has a different position on her.
Strange.
You see, these good old boys think they're part of the system. They think they're the winners. They think they're protected from all of this. And then I heard a woman call in right after them going, yeah, I think we got too many minorities. And she was serious. She said, I'm glad they're killing them. You see, that stupid, fat soccer mom thinks she's part of the establishment. She's a eugenicist.
What?
You can run into them. I get their emails and their calls, and I've had them snidely say stuff to me. You know, if you go to a school function or something, they say, well, there are too many people, Alex. Well, listen here, know-it-all control freak. Kill yourself then.
Okay.
Don't sit there in the minority neighborhoods and tell 17-year-old pregnant girls, if you'll have an abortion, we'll drop this marijuana charge on you. And that's what goes on coast to coast.
That doesn't track.
Coast to coast
that doesn't track. I don't understand.
That was all just buzz marketing for Coast to Coast AM.
Where's this start? Where's the start point and where's his end point, and how do they get there?
No idea. I don't know what he's talking about there at the end, but I do know that what he's describing is just a racist caller on an AM talk show, probably.
Right. And she's a eugenicist.
She's a eugenicist. She's part of it. She thinks she's a part of this imagined system that I'm afraid of, because that
short leash.
That is still in place in 2009.
Right.
That part of his cosmology has existed throughout this entirety. So in the same way that I'm interested in things that are different, I'm also very interested in things that are the same. And this idea that there's this eugenicist plan by the elites and stuff, that's consistent.
But this is almost a cover story, I think, now. because the concept that he's putting forth here is that the globalists are trying to divide us through race.
Right.
Right? That's his idea there.
He does.
I think, if I understand correctly.
There is a bit of that, yeah.
So now he says the same thing, but he's dividing us by race. So he's kind of got that consistent lie going on, but like he just stopped talking about it or like explaining it like he seems passionate whenever he's describing her as being a globalist eugenicist.
Well, because he sees...
Like, he seems like he cares about it in the way that he doesn't now.
But it's also because he sees his imagined enemies everywhere. You know, in
True.
the same way that he talks about, like, being at the grocery store and someone's face turns into a demon and what have you and stuff like
but
that.
that happens.
Yeah.
Like, what was he in an Aldi?
Look, I was at a Mariano's
All right,
the other
that's actually
day.
kind of
and,
classist.
you know, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I went Mariano's.
Mariana's is a way better go. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. It's very weird. But the thing that I think is interesting too is if you listen to that clip, that like, oh, you want other people to die? Why don't you kill yourself first?
That's fun.
That
sounds like a thing I would say.
That's the open. What we just listened to is the open mic version of the bit that he did on air like the other day in 2018, where he's screaming about like, kill yourself, I curse you. And shit like that. He's just when he's
right. He's tooling up the bit.
He's fleshed out the bit, and now he has the showcase version in 2018.
Right.
We get to see the
That's
raw.
too long. That's too long for a bit.
It's quite a while.
I would let that bit go.
Yeah.
I would have let that bit go.
So you asked a second ago, how many abortions do you think Trump has paid for? And I don't know. I can't answer that, but I do know that Alex in 2018,
20 plus, right?
In 2018, Alex has said that he has paid for at least 10. So we do know that, which is interesting to hear this in 2009.
And I'll tell you this, the citizens are out of control. The society's out of control. When you've got 50-plus million dead babies because people kill their own kids, their own future, their own treasure, because they're too lazy to use contraception, and because they're too lazy to admit it's a baby, that's out of control. And even if you don't believe in God
They're
and
too
karma or
lazy
you
to
reap what you
admit it's a
sow,
baby.
you better believe in the law of the universe.
Okay. So, I mean, like, what the... I mean, what are you going to do? You know?
This is every Catholic priest.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
This is denying other people morality whilst you do as I say, not as I do.
Right. It's just interesting that at this point in his career, he's not ready to open up in the same way that he is now.
Because he doesn't have as much power as he does now.
Probably.
I'm sure he feels a lot less touchable.
That's true. And
Yeah.
I think like, if he were to, in the middle of that rant where he's judging people for being too lazy to use contraception, if he were to say, I'm guilty, I've had 10 abortions, then I think that would have really hurt him in 2009. Whereas now, I mean, people just laugh
in
at it.
2009, I give him, 6? I would say in the intervening 9 years, he's paid for at least 4 more.
No, because in 2009, he's married to Kelly. Like, he's...
Yeah, Dan.
They had 3 kids together?
Yeah, but they weren't fucking illegitimate kids.
No, I understand that, but I think at that point, he's married and he's settled down. I would say that all of the abortions that he has had, whether or not that number is exaggerated, were in his younger years.
At most, I will give you 8 at this time and 2 in the intervening 9 years.
I'd say 10 before, 0 after.
And
Anyway,
we'll be taking bets also in the bracket.
Yes,
there will
that's
be.
for sure. We got some prop bets going.
Surprise winner, Alex has had 10 abortions before being married the first time.
We're going to have just an elaborate book, a gambling book on this about Alex Jones's conception record.
You can bet on anything in Britain.
So Jordan, in the same way that Alex probably would have been hurt by that information in 2009, whereas he's not hurt by it now.
Yes.
There's another
Andy in Kansas. Police China calls, and I've had them snidely say stuff to me. You know, if you go to a school function or something, they say, well, there are too many people, Alex. Well,
he's just when he's
right. He's tooling up the bit.
He's fleshed out the bit, and now he has the showcase version in 2018.
Right.
We get to see the
That's
raw.
too long. That's too long for a bit.
It's quite a while.
I would let that bit go.
Yeah.
I would have let that bit go.
So you asked a second ago, how many abortions do you think Trump has paid for? And I don't know. I can't answer that, but I do know that Alex in 2018,
20 plus, right?
In 2018, Alex has said that he has paid for at least 10. So we do know that, which is interesting to hear this in 2009.
And I'll tell you this, the citizens are out of control. The society's out of control. When you've got 50-plus million dead babies because people kill their own kids, their own future, their own treasure, because they're too lazy to use contraception, and because they're too lazy to admit it's a baby, that's out of control. And even if you don't believe in God and karma or you reap what you sow, you better believe in the law of the universe.
Okay. So, I mean, like, what the... I mean, what are you going to do? You know?
This is every Catholic priest.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
This is denying other people morality whilst you do as I say, not as I do.
Right. It's just interesting that at this point in his career, he's not ready to open up in the same way that he is now.
Because he doesn't have as much power as he does now.
Probably.
I'm sure he feels a lot less touchable.
That's true. And
Yeah.
I think if he were to, in the middle of that rant where he's judging people for being too lazy to use contraception, if he were to say, I'm guilty, I've had 10 abortions, then I think that would have really hurt him in 2009. Whereas now, I mean, people just laugh at it.
in 2009, I give him, 6? I would say in the intervening 9 years, he's paid for at least 4 more.
No, because in 2009, he's married to Kelly. Like, he's...
Yeah, Dan.
They had 3 kids together?
Yeah, but they weren't fucking illegitimate kids.
No, I understand that, but I think at that point, he's married and he's settled down. I would say that all of the abortions that he has had, whether or not that number is exaggerated, were in his younger years.
At most, I will give you 8 at this time and 2 in the intervening 9 years.
I'd say 10 before, 0 after.
And we'll be taking bets also in the bracket.
Yes,
there will
that's
be.
for sure. We got some prop bets going.
Surprise winner, Alex has had 10 abortions before being married the first time.
We're going to have just an elaborate book, a gambling book on this about Alex Jones's conception record.
You can bet on anything in Britain.
So Jordan, in the same way that Alex probably would have been hurt by that information in 2009, whereas he's not hurt by it now.
Yes.
There's another difference in 2009 that's very interesting that I could not have imagined.
Was he thinner?
No, there's no video of this. I'm just listening to audio.
All right.
But maybe he was a little bit. I don't know.
Just asking.
Back then, one of his sponsors is soap, Cal-Ben Soaps.
I really was hoping you would just full stop soap.
The soap industry?
Just soap.
Cal-Ben Soap or...
Cal-Ben Soap?
Cal-Ben, I think.
Cal-Ben.
5-star soaps.
All right. Eventually, he went on to leave the soap industry and go with ice cream with his friend Cal Jerry.
Just to the chat room, they're asking why I think he hasn't had abortions since he got married. I guess there is a little bit of I don't even know what you'd call it, purity bias on my part. And maybe I'm wrong. But I think that given that they had 3 kids...
You still believe in love.
Maybe.
That's kind of what you believe in, Dan.
I don't know. But at the same time...
That's a very cute thought.
At the same time, at no point am I saying this in any judgmental way. Like
I'm not being judgmental at all.
Right. I'll admit my slight bias there.
I've paid for 46 abortions.
Oh, boy.
That's 4 more than the answer to the question of what is life, the universe, and everything.
Back to soap. So, Alex has a soap sponsor.
Yes.
And in order to have him be a sponsor of the show, Alex makes clear. clear that part of the deal is that the owner of the soap company gets to be a guest on his show once a month.
All right. I want to know the owner of this soap company.
Well, you're going to get to
What
listen
is this?
to him.
What does this soap company owner believe?
Well, here's Alex trying to get into this guest appearance, I guess.
This is the only soap to defend against 9/11.
Side issue, but I want to get into the soap, but it all ties into that. Governments, Hitler was into mind war, eugenics war.
Okay.
It all ties into the soap.
I want to get into the soap.
It all ties. The government is out of control. It all ties into the soap,
I
though.
want to get into the soap, but this is all related. Let me talk to you about Hitler.
How do you get to the bottom of the story? You follow the soap.
Absolutely. That's number one rule of journalism.
Number one rule.
Oh, man. That's crazy. So he tries to get into some of his narratives with the soap guy, and it doesn't work.
Here we go.
It doesn't work that well.
Let's see it.
Eugenics. I mean, I see the chemicalization of everything part of the eugenics. I know it is. Have you ever looked into Margaret Sanger and the Colgate Foundation and all of that?
No.
Yeah, it's pretty hardcore. Well, regardless, tell us what on record the detergents and toxic soaps are doing to us.
I fucking love.
This is sad.
No. All right, well, tell us about soap then.
Tell us about what's wrong with detergent. So they have a little talk about detergent.
Oh, please more. Please more of that.
This guy is like, hey, they talk about sodium chloride being in soap. And everybody's like, oh, what is this chemical? It's table salt. And they use it as just a filler. We don't use it as a filler. It's all a fucking ad for his soap.
Yeah, of course it is.
And it gets to this.
If you give a hard no to that question, you're out.
It gets to this.
I'll guarantee you satisfaction guaranteed or double your dirt back.
Explain some of the chemicals that are in the soaps and hair care products and all the crud people use. I know I washed my hair after lifting weights this morning with Cal-Ben shampoo.
Good on-air read. That is smooth.
Beautiful.
Silky smooth.
I know I washed my hair this morning after lifting weights because I'm a strong man.
I'm swole.
With Cal-Ben shampoo.
He does do that little pause and just put some English on it. It's gorgeous.
So good. God, I want this Alex back.
This is a sad
Alex, if you're listening, God damn it, come back to this.
This is a sad Alex because what you're seeing is a guy who has to allow this in order to be sponsored. You know, like I want sponsors badly in terms of allowing us to continue doing this without me needing to have
How's
a
Cal-Ben
job.
doing?
I'll give him a call.
Yeah,
but I would never
Ben, talk about your time working for the Alex Jones Show. No.
I would never accept that as a stipulation of sponsorship. And it's clear, Alex does make clear that part of the sponsorship is he's on once a month.
Yeah,
he doesn't seem happy about it.
Of course not.
This is a mic down clip. Listen to this is how the interview ends.
Okay.
Or 5starsoap.com or calbenpuresoap.com. Marty, give me a quick limerick.
There was a young lady of Kent who said that she knew what it meant when men asked her to dine, gave her cocktails and wine. She knew what it meant, but she went.
Marty Schechter.
That wasn't even a fun limerick.
It was bad.
That was shit.
It was shit. But then there's so much fun there because you've got the long pause and then Alex, ha ha ha.
Yeah, all right.
All right.
All right. Great stuff. Great stuff, kid. All right. Great stuff.
That's a...
Give me a quick limerick.
That's a fascinating glimpse into 2009 Alex.
I fucking love it.
He's being...
Oh my god. Let's I want to analyze this limerick. It's a pretty shit limerick. Pretty shitty limerick, if I do say so myself. However, I believe it does technically qualify as a limerick in the rhythmic sense. But let's go back and double check. Da 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 da. There was a young lady of Kent who said that she knew what it meant when men asked her to dine, give her cocktails and wine. She knew what it meant, but she went. Okay. What's the fucking punchline? It's a woman was asked out for drinks, and she accepted. That's all that happens. That's all that happens. She's asked by men to dine, and then you also have cocktails and wine with the dinner. She knew what it meant. Which, this is the first really shitty part. You shouldn't have to repeat this line. Also, it's sort of undermined by this line here, who said that she knew what it meant. So, if we're to believe that she knows what it really means when men ask you to wine and dine, ask you to dine, and when they start giving you alcohol, we know what it really means, don't we, fellas? We know what it really means. That's what he's getting at, right? He's saying this is just a ploy to get you to have sex, you know? That's the punchline of this. This is completely from a extreme conservative position of like, as soon as you hear that someone's daughter went out for dinner and had alcohol, like, oh, she's a Wiccan communist pagan whore. She's a lost cause. She knew what it meant. She knew what it meant. But no. We don't know that she knew what it meant. We know that she said that she knew what it meant. Have you ever had the situation where you look at someone and you say, you know what I mean? And they go, yeah, I know what you mean. But turns out they totally don't know what you mean? Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah. I'm reading you loud and clear. Uh-huh. And you're like, well, okay, well then, why don't you just go ahead and explain what you think I mean out loud, and just to confirm that you know what I mean. Yeah, you're talking about fucking playing baseball in the shower. What? No. It's not what I'm talking about. Okay. So this repetition, I don't like. Not a big fan. We don't need to say she knew what it meant. She knew what it meant. And I also don't appreciate the declaring. She says she knows what it means. She can say what she interprets as, hey, do you want to go out for dinner? Have some drinks? She could interpret that in many ways. And that's going to depend on her line of thinking, right? Whereas the narrator of this shitty joke should either say that she knew what it meant because you're the omniscient narrator and you know what's in her head, or you're a limited third-person narrator, and you don't have access to her actual thoughts and feelings. You only report on what she says. Do you know, there once was a lady of Kent who thought that she knew what it meant when men asked her to dine, gave her cocktails and wine. But there has to... I'll even give you that the setup is salvageable. The joke here would have to be she thought she knew what it meant, but something rent. Like, maybe she knows that this guy is just buying drinks and dinner for the chance to sleep with her, right? She's like, I know. But what if she is just saving money for rent, for example, right? Like, maybe she's got an ulterior motive also, right? So if the guy, like, that would give it a twist. So she's like, oh, these men have this ulterior motive. Well, guess what? She had a secret ulterior motive too. Maybe she has no plans to sleep with these guys. She's just getting dinner, right? She's like, I can't spend this last $100 because it's for rent. So I'm gonna just get some free dinner and drinks this weekend. I think that would make it a funnier joke. And it would still be just as sexist as you want it to be, as these guys wanted it to be. But it could have been deeper and more clever and more funny. But no, your punchline is, she knew what it meant, but she went. And you hear that long pause he does before "but she went," right? He's like, she knew what it meant, but she went. Like, what a creeper. Creepy dude. So, I would never buy soap from this guy based upon the quality and performance of this limerick. And until further notice, until I hear another limerick, I will not recommend this gentleman's soap. Now, if it turns out he writes a banger of a limerick, if he throws up some fucking bars, I might reconsider my decision. And maybe we'll go ahead and buy 50 pallets of soap from this guy. All right? I'm putting it all on the line. Putting it all on the line for this. Okay? So, I'm going to search. We need our next limerick. When did the limerick guy appear again? So that was on June 10th? June 1st, 2009. Just going to mark this down here. So this is Limerick 1. What's the guy's name? Marty something. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to group this. We're going to pin them all to the timeline. We're going to make keyframes. Or then we're going to go to the next frame over, delete all that. So that's all saved there. And we'll just lock it so we don't accidentally delete it. And so that's limerick number 1. And we're going to try to look for limerick number 2. Okay, so that's April 10th. April 10th, April 10th. May 7th. Okay. This looks like another limerick guy.
The
He
limerick
is
soap
a guy who does fucking limericks as a thing, and he's proud of it.
Yes.
He is not a guy who does limericks as a gimmick. He does limericks
They're not
as...
gimmick limericks.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
They're not gimmicks.
Yeah. No, this
does
guy...
he does this like a violinist at a recital. This guy has them in the chamber.
This guy clearly insists that Alex ask him to do a limerick.
Oh, yeah.
That's part
Yeah.
of the sponsorship
Yeah,
deal.
yeah.
And I went as soon as he was like, I got Marty Schachter on, he's got some great soap. I'm like, limerick, please, please, please. I cannot have to listen to this racist soap guy without a fucking limerick. And lo and behold.
Does not disappoint.
At the end of their interview, here comes a limerick, baby.
Hey.
Marty,
Stimulus packages.
give us a limerick. Marty, give me a limerick.
I'm ready. He hated to sew. So young Ned rang the bell of his neighbor instead. But her husband said, "Vi, when you stitched his torn fly, there was no need to bite off the thread."
Amazing, my friend. I want to get you back up instead of every 2 months. I want to get you back up next week because
What an asshole. Long pause.
That is a great beat. Great beat. Gotta give Alex for the perfect length of time to make that as disrespectful as possible. 1 second longer and he's confused. 1 second shorter is kind of disappointing.
It feels sincere.
That perfect beat is
Yeah.
just enough time to throw the correct amount of shade. I loved it.
I think it's not that. I think he's confused. I think Alex is confused because, like, every single time he asks him for a limerick, the last one was fucking sexy. It was
Yeah.
sexual.
Yeah.
This one is, again, about a blowjob.
Yeah.
Like, Marty Schachter's just coming.
Also-
he's an old man who wants to tell dirty limericks.
Also, I don't think that counts as a limerick.
No.
Listening to that, no.
Meter is off.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he screwed it up in the middle, or I would say at the beginning.
Or,
But again,
at the very moment he thought, I could be the limerick guy.
this is such a delightful just piece of reality that in 2009, again, it bears repeating, this is what Alex was forced to do. In order to get this guy to sponsor his show,
Yeah.
he has to have him come on.
And you can just hear it in his voice. All right, Marty.
Got
Can
a
I get a limerick? All right.
Long pause. Awesome, my friend.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Great. All right. Where can you get your soap?
Ah, man, it's good.
Oh, limerick soap. All right.
Can't wait for his next appearance. He's going to have more limericks. I just want to try. There's no way I'd be able to, like, just time it out to find.
Also,
like,
these are, he didn't make these limericks up. That's
No,
a classic
they're street
limerick.
limericks.
Yeah.
he's a hack. He's a limerick hack. Just hack on hack.
Yep.
Oh, God, it's so great. He's
a hackerick.
This picture of his life back then is somewhat delightful to me on some levels because, you know, we talk about sometimes, I don't know if we have in a really long time, but there was a thought of, like, how Alex Jones would make a really funny sitcom. Like, this bigot propagandist yelling in the booth and what have you.
Yeah.
Like a That's My Bush kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think he would in the present day, but like that beat, those kinds of moments would make for an amazing,
Absolutely.
maybe short film series or
Right.
something.
I can see a Larry Sanders show. Oh, for sure.
All right. Let's take a closer look at Marty's limerick. This one, okay, he biffed the performance, okay? I mean, that was bad. And you know what I think? My theory was that he memorized some of these just from a joke book, from a limerick book. And he's just like struggling to like get the words right. I almost thought he was reading it there. Was he reading it? It really kind of sounded like he was like, I'm ready. Like the way it took a second. Like I bet he was like holding the mute button on his phone and like shuffling around for his limerick book. and then pulling it up, but he was like distracted with something else at the same time.
Yeah.
The limerick
He is
soap
a guy who does fucking limericks. No, he has to, because that's what this guy is known for, improvising limericks off the top of his head.
And
he goes out to the bar.
Let's see.
Marty, give me a limerick.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
He hated to
Give us a limerick. Marty, give me a limerick.
I'm ready.
Marty, give me a limerick.
Twice.
I'm ready.
And then his phone's going off.
to
He's
sew.
looking at the phone.
So young Ned rang the bell of his neighbor instead.
Okay. So if we're going strictly on how he performed it, technically, this is canon. It's on wax, homie. You recorded it exactly like that. The producer's not going to fix it. He hated to sew. So young Ned rang the bell of his neighbor instead. But her husband said, why, when you stitched his torn fly, there was no need to bite off the thread. Okay. So let's be charitable here. We know he fucked this up. We can just take this. So young Ned rang the neighbor. Right? So, but hold on though. Is it so he hated to sew? I believe he said he. Did he say he? The phone rang right as he started it.
He hated to sew. I'm ready. He hated.
Okay, so he hated. So that's. I think the intention was just a single he. Okay, I think we can agree with that. So what we're gonna do is a good idea. We're just gonna blot out the places, the words that he hated to sew. I think that's how it intended to be. So young Ned rang the bell of his neighbor. Let's say the bell of his neighbor instead of the neighbor here. So young Ned rang the bell of his neighbor instead. What the fuck? He hated to sew, so young Ned rang the bell of his neighbor instead. Okay, young Ned instead. That's a rhyme, right? He hated to sew, so young Ned rang the bell of his neighbor instead. That's what he fucked up. He didn't get the lines right. Was he reading this off of something? Hey. So, I think what it was supposed to be is this. He hated to sew, so young Ned rang the bell of his neighbor instead. Ring my bell, ring my bell. Okay, what am I doing here? I should undo all that moving around. I'm gonna move it in a better way. Okay, so here's what I think happened. He fucked up the meter. Here's what he was probably here's probably what was written down. Maybe if he like copied it off the internet, he might not have formatted it correctly. Right? If he's reading from his like email thread and he's like scrolling down his phone to read it. He hated to sew, so young Ned rang the bell of the neighbor instead. right? So the so Ned instead. But her husband said, why, when you stitched his torn fly, there was no need to bite off the thread. Yeah. Now it's fixed. Fixed it for you, buddy. So, besides the stuttering, the phone call probably threw him off. I wonder if he saw on his caller ID, because it sounded like a home phone. So I'm picturing, he had a big old, senior citizen giant text display caller ID that he bought in 1994. Because this was 2009 when this was happening. Yeah. So probably from 1984. No, when was caller ID became a thing in late 90s. So, yeah. But anyway, that threw him off. He got thrown off his game. And he's like, he hated to sew. So young Ned rang the neighbor. Young Red rang the neighbor. He just missed the word bell of his. I don't know. Maybe he had he had a big piece of paper. Maybe he's reading it off a piece of paper. Or it has a stack of papers. I don't know. And it was like that or something. Hated to sew. So young Ned rang the and then he's like, oh shit. How does it say? The bell of his neighbor instead. Oh boy, Ned. Is his name Ned? Marty. Oh, Marty. You silly guy. So he fucked up the meter, but otherwise it's a solid limerick. If you hadn't choked it, if you hadn't just lost your shot, you only get one shot. Do not miss the chance to blow. Well, you did that. You did the bad part. You did the one where not to do. Also, they're clearly not original. The guys are right. I'm pretty sure this is not an original. Because he wouldn't have fucked up the meter like that. I think he was reading it. I think he was reading it. If he had memorized it, if he had said it out loud ever, I bet he just read this in his head and yeah, nice. I'll read that one today when Alex tells me to do a limerick. Okay, I think this is the big episode where he does multiple ones.
Oh, Alex thinks that 150 bars of soap lasts a year. This is the school bus sized air water converter.
That
of
literally
soap.
means you're going through what? 2.5 or one bar
one
of
every
soap
2 days.
Every 2.5 days.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's crazy.
Too much. Maybe they're tiny little bars.
Could be tiny
hotel
little
bars.
Hotel bars of soap.
Yeah,
All right.
could be.
I like it.
So Alex thinks that's the limerick for the day, and he tries to.
He thinks he's done with the limerick.
So then he tries to end the interview here in this next clip.
All right, Marty, that was the first time you gave us somebody else's limerick. Next month, we'll get another one of your great limericks.
Oh, I got the limerick all ready to go. We got another minute?
All right, we'll come back and get your limerick. Then I'll get into all the news. Folks, stay with us.
He's miserable.
He hates this so much.
I got my limerick ready to go.
All right, we'll get you back
All
after the
right.
next
All
month.
right.
Next month we'll get your oh, great.
We do not have to wait till next month because when they come back from break, Alex tees him up and Marty Schachter knocks him down.
Yeah, real quick, Marty, you're known for your limericks. Give us a limerick.
19th century repeat. There was an old man of Nantucket who kept all his cash in a bucket.
Careful.
But his daughter, named Nan, ran away with a man, and as far as the bucket, Nantucket. Pa followed the pair to Pawtucket. The man
we're still going.
And the girl with the bucket.
Most
And he
people
said
stop
to
at
the
one
man,
lyric.
You're welcome to Nan, but as for the bucket, Pawtucket.
Oh god, that's like a double one. Hello, Guy Hale. Love your animations. How do you decide which episodes to cover? Good question. That's a lot of what these streams are about often. When I'm in between videos, I listen to clips that people recommend. I listen to stuff I've found, or just listen, and I brainstorm, and it's really when it sort of hits me, like when I get a kind of real clear vision for what I could draw, or what I think would be funny to be drawn. And then I sort of commit to it, and then I draw that one thing that I imagine, and then we just go from there. And sometimes on these live streams, if I have like creative block, I come out here and I talk about stuff and get feedback from commenters and stuff. That's basically it. And we actually have a big list of future episodes that are still just sort of hypothetical or in different stages of possibly being covered. Because when I started, I just had like one very obvious idea to do like the telescope one. And I just did that. And then I liked that and I wanted to do more, but it's usually not until just like I suddenly hear the right clip and 3 ways to learn. That was really funny to me. So I wanted to do that one. And then I really liked the little story about Alex getting kicked off his mama's lap. And that also had a lot of imagery. But lately, I'm kind of fishing for him a little more because I'm kind of on a roll. So I've made a lot of them. So thank you for the nice words. I'm glad you liked the animations. It's good to hear. Right now, I'm actually going through. I'm thinking about doing this Marty Schachter annoying Alex with his limericks. This is turning out to be pretty fun. Right now, we're going through the different limericks, and I'm critiquing them. So that's episode 158. Okay, we're listening now to this. He does like a long double limerick here. So I'm trying to transcribe it. So let's go back.
19th century repeat.
19th century.
There was an old man of Nantucket who kept all his cash in a bucket.
Careful.
But his daughter, named Nan, ran away with a man, and as far as the bucket, Nantucket. Pa followed the pair to Pawtucket. The man
we're still going.
And the girl with the bucket.
Most
And he
people
said
stop
to
at
the
one
man,
lyric.
You're welcome to Nan, but as for the bucket, Pawtucket. Then the pair followed Pa to Manhasset, where he still held the cash as an asset.
Alex thought he was
and
free.
Nan and the man stole the money and ran, and then this for the bucket, Manhasset.
Marty, you're something else. You're one in a million. Take care, my friend.
Thank you, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
You bet. 5starsub.com.
Okay. Triple limerick.
Oh, I want it. Oh, if there's some hell that I could wish upon Alex, it's just listen.
Tell you what, this is also a very good contender because when Jordan especially, or both of them, are really laughing, it's contagious laughter, and that's definitely a very good opportunity for a good funny cartoon, because it just sort of it's funny on multiple levels, because you're laughing at the thing, you're also laughing at their reaction to the thing. Yeah, you jot something down while you're listening. Unintentionally profound at times. Yeah, I mean, especially if you like redirect the logic away. If it's some nonsense Alex says, I do also kind of get obsessed over little things, like the way he words things. So this is all like a very good, because there's a build up too of they meet Marty. We get one limerick. It's a pretty crappy limerick. Then we meet is this young lady of Kent one, and then we meet him again, and he really fucks up the delivery. He fucks up the cadence. He doesn't read the lines right, and then he delivers a whopper triple limerick, and then Dan and Jordan are just busting it, losing it at the beginning or in the middle of it. So this might be a good one to go for. The whole limerick is about this bucket. Okay, let's find the first. So what I'm searching on here is one of the best tools to making these as well. It's fight.fudgy.org. And I can look up like every word uttered on any Knowledge Fight episode. Pretty good. I mean, the AI flubs up a few words here and there. Doesn't catch a few weird things, but it's surprisingly good. It caught every bar of these limericks, which I was impressed by. Almost. I think in that last one it said Manhattan, but he was like making like a pun. Manhattan or something. Marty Schachter is his name. Calbrin Soap. Let's listen to this again.
You got all the.
I heard another limerick every fucking time.
That sage young man. Even got one guy. It's a pleasure every day coming to my office and reading another email. I even got one guy who more than emailed me. He sent me a limerick, and he says, "'Twas on Alex Jones that I thee found, that sage young man of world renowned, whose hearty endorsement gave me hope that I'd be happy with your pure soap."
Marty, you're something
else. Oh, God, that's such a painful fake laugh.
You're something else.
Oh, boy. I heard another limerick every fucking time you come on. I hear a goddamn limerick and a big laugh at it. God, I
could
hate
just
you. Schachter?
I don't want to take your money. You're ruining my show.
What soap company calls their patrons users? Users
use the soap?
Yeah, but users?
I don't know. It's
I
weird.
don't like it.
So Alex has an employee in there in the studio, and he's like, "Come on, get on mic here. You use the soap." And he's like, you didn't believe me when I was talking about how great this soap is, but like the soap you have, it's lasted you a year.
That's not good soap. That's bad soap.
And the guy's like, "Yeah, it's lasted me forever." And then I was like, "How does this soap lasting you a year? Are you not using it?" And then it turns out that it comes in 150 bar packages. Like, that better last you a year.
That better last you a fucking 2 years.
Yeah. So, all right.
I gotta pause it. I want to listen to this though. This is all very good stuff. I can't believe I forgot about the limerick guy. And he says it was on Alex Jones that I'd be it was on Alex Jones that I'd be found. That sage young man of world renown. And yeah, as Dan said, slant rhyme. Who won the endorsement, gave me the hope that I'd be happy with your pure silk. Gross. What does it actually say? I don't think this is quite right.
He says, "'Twas on Alex Jones that I thee found, that sage young man of world renowned, whose hearty endorsement gave me hope that I'd be happy with your pure
Hearty
soap.
endorsement.
Marty, you're something else.
Hold on.
That sage young man of world renowned, whose
Slight
hearty
rhyme.
endorsement gave me hope that I'd be happy with your pure soap.
Soap.
Marty, you're something else.
Oof.
Marty, you're something else. Okay. So this is a really shitty limerick. And I'm going to prove it. Let's talk about this. It was on Alex Jones that I thee found, I think is what he said. Now I don't know shit about Elizabethan English, but I don't think that's right. Did Elizabethan English go subject, object, verb? Did it? Methinks I don't know this shit. Is that cool? Is that legal? I thee found? I don't know. It doesn't strike me as right, but again, everything that's like super old timey to me, I don't know. I'm ignorant. Okay, but I don't think this is it doesn't have the right rhythm to be a limerick, because limericks need to have a compound rhythm. And this ain't got it. I don't want any text there. It was on Alex Jones that I thee found, that sage young man of world renown, whose hearty endorsement gave me hope that I'd be happy with your pure soap. Oh my God. It's not a fucking limerick, dude. But he was trying to read it like a limerick. This guy is a fuck up. Okay? Marty Schachter is a fucking fraud. Because all he does is just look at text and like he doesn't actually understand limericks. He doesn't understand what makes... He's like, oh yeah, it just has to like have the same cadence. Not necessarily. You need to look at where your rhymes are falling in these meters. What am I doing? I want to convert this to a paint layer. Okay. It was on Alex Jones that I thee found, that sage young man of world renowned. It was on Alex Jones? Is that what he says?
He says, 'twas on Alex Jones that I thee found.
'Twas on Alex Jones that I thee found. So this is from a listener, a customer, a satisfied user of Marty Schachter's soap. Right? That's the author. And it's thee is referring to Marty Schachter himself. So he's saying, I found you on Alex Jones's show. That sage young man of world renown. Are they referring to Alex Jones? Yeah. And this is 2009 Alex Jones, so he's whatever. He's not that young. Definitely not sage in any way. But whatever. World renown. Yeah, I mean he's known in not just in Austin, but also in Dallas and Houston. All of the different places in Texas. Whose hearty endorsement gave me hope that I'd be happy with your hope, with your pure soap. So he's not even saying that he is happy with this. It's still all up in the air. It's like, hey, I heard you on Alex Jones, and his endorsement gave me hope that I'd be happy with your pure soap. But when I opened the box, like, there's a big old butt just sort of like sneaking around behind this here. I had hoped that I would be happy. Was Popeye Elizabethan? Popeye the Sailor Man. I think he was turn of the century. I want to say, I really don't know. Was he like a World War II era guy? But is this a Popeye quote? Is this a Popeye thing? What does Popeye say? He would say, I didn't watch enough Popeye to really get... Oh, man. Sometimes I type too fast and I accidentally full screen my shit because I hit the F keys. I don't like F keys. Never use them. I literally never use the F keys except by accident. And I don't know what any of them do. I've never been an F key guy. A lot of people are like, oh, F4. I'm like, what? I don't touch any Fs. I don't fuck with them. Methinks. Yeah, Popeye did say methinks. Popeye quotes. Below me down. That's right. We're looking at Popeye catchphrases. I am what I am, and that's all that I am. That's profound, right? But also simple. Ahoy, below me down. That's all I can stands, because I can't stands no more. I'll lay him among the sweet peas. You got a face I likes to touch. I am disgustipated. I am disgustipated. If we can't be friends, we'll be enemies. Enemies. Shiver me timbers. Oh my gorshk. I thought that's also, Pluto. Or Goofy. Gorshk. Arf arf. I'm strong to the finish, 'cause I eats me spinach. Papa the Sailor Man. Do you think I'm a cowboy? What? Mostly in references and parodies of his first appearance. Oh my god, Dice Island, published between 1928 1929. This is some old ass... Oh, it's a comic strip. It's not animated, right? I think, yeah, because I think he was started as a comic strip. So we didn't know his voice until when? Who did his early voice? I wonder who that was. Voice of Popeye. Okay, so here I'm seeing Jack Mercer.
Kill me if I let you get away without giving us some small demonstration of Popeye. Just anything that you'd care to do.
I'd be glad to. Oh, I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Skidabiddy-dee-di-do. I'm strong to the finish, 'cause I eat me spinach. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Whoa, whoa.
Thank you, gentlemen, for being with us on To Tell the Truth.
Huh. I was hoping to hear him do more like talking lines instead of singing.
Weeks.
Ooh, it's an older one. Let's see.
Ahoy, mateys. I am what I am, and that's all what I am. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man. Well, blow me down and shiver me timbers, if it ain't me old pal Mike Spawn. I wouldn't believe me own eyes if I wasn't seeing what I was looking at.
That was the voice of Popeye, and also the voice of Jack Mercer, who has given Popeye his voice for more than 40 years.
How did you come to do the voice, Jack?
Well, I was in the inking department when I first started to do the voices for the characters I happened to be inking at the time. The other inkers seemed to get a kick out of it and sort of egged me on.
He's doing a voice there.
The boss told me to cool it so they could get some work done. Sometimes people stop.
To be honest, it's kind of cringe. I don't really like his voice.
That was seen by
the not his real voice, the Popeye character. It's very phony. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't adhere to any kind of accent or dialect or anything. It's sort of just like whatever that guy thought like sounded funny. Although I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Maybe he's like really nailing it, but I don't know. It's funnier in my head. It was funnier in my head, and then when I actually heard him say, I don't know. And maybe that was after 40 years. Maybe he's just not as good at the voice after 40 years is wearing out, you know? Well, it was on Alex Jones that ID found that Sid Young. Okay, so that's not a limerick. That's disqualified, as far as I'm concerned. I said that if he came out with a banger, I would admit it. But it's scored on two metrics. It's the quality of the limerick itself and on the performance of the limerick. And for that reason, he really fucked up number one, the second one. Because it was a solid limerick, but he completely screwed up the performance. This one, though, is fucking crazy because it's a triple. He goes on and on. It's got taglines. Let's listen again. Let's read it and let's figure out what the fuck is going on. Okay.
Marty's got multiple limericks and
Marty. Oh, Marty.
And Alex wants to exploit homeless people for his documentary, which is cool, which is great.
Dan, I actually just called Marty recently. The actor came back with a limerick attack, and Alex for once felt true fear. He wanted to share a limerick with you. Would you like to read it? Or would you like me to read it?
I think you should read it.
You think I should read it?
This isn't an improv scene. You're not going to pimp me into that.
Every fucking time you come on, I hear a goddamn limerick, and I have to fake laugh at it. God,
Alex thinks that's the limerick for the day. And he tries to...
He thinks he's done with the limerick.
So then he tries to end the interview here in this next clip.
All right, Marty, that was the first time you gave us somebody else's limerick. Next month, we'll get another one of your great limericks.
Oh, I got the limerick all ready to go. We got another minute?
All right, we'll come back and get your limerick. Then I'll get into all the news. Folks, stay with us.
He's miserable.
He hates this so much.
I got my limerick ready to go.
We'll get you back after the next month. Right. Next month we'll get your Oh, great.
We do not have to wait till next month because when they come back from break, Alex tees him up and Marty Schechter knocks him down.
Yeah, real quick, Marty, you're known for your limericks. Give us a limerick.
19th century repeat. There was an old man of Nantucket who kept all his cash in a bucket.
Careful.
But his daughter, named Nan, ran away with a man, and as far as the bucket, Nantucket. Pa followed the pair to Pawtucket. The man
we're still going.
And the girl with the bucket.
Most people stop at one lyric.
You're welcome to Nan, but as for the bucket, Pawtucket. Then the pair followed Pa to Manhasset, where he still held the cash as an asset.
Alex thought he was
and
free.
Nan and the man stole the money and ran, and as for the bucket, Manhasset.
Marty, you're something else. You're one in a million. Take care, my friend.
Marty, you're something else. You're one in a million. You're something else. All right. That's something that old people from Texas say when someone's really funny. Like, You're a fucking clown. You are something else. Pa followed the pair to Pawtucket. Okay, so I don't think this last word is Nantucket. I think it's Nan took it. Right? Because the old man kept his cash in the bucket. His daughter Nan ran away with the man. As far as the bucket, Nan took it. Right? That's the little thing. His delivery wasn't too good. So, you know, that wasn't clear. I don't think he understood that. It sounded like he just said Nantucket. I kind of agreed with the AI there. But using context clues, I think he's saying Nan took it. So we're going to be generous. Although he loses performance points, I'm not going to say he didn't have wordplay. Nantucket, bucket, took it. It's a slant rhyme, but it's a rhyme. We're going to count slant rhymes. Because, you know, if you don't allow for slant rhymes, you're really, really limiting yourself. It just opens up so many more interesting things. And if you're going to do a pun and a wordplay thing, I think that's fine. That's acceptable. Pa followed the pair to Pawtucket. You're welcome to man, but as for the bucket, Pawtucket. Okay, I don't know if this is getting it right. Let's listen to that again. Pa followed the pair.
Daughter named Nan ran away with a man, and as far as the bucket, Nantucket. Pa followed the pair to Pawtucket.
We're still going.
And the girl with the bucket.
Most people stop.
The man and the girl with the bucket. Okay, I totally missed that line. The man and the girl with the bucket.
The man, you're welcome to Nan, but as for the bucket, Pawtucket.
Pawtucket.
Pa followed the pair to Pawtucket.
We're still going.
And the girl with the bucket.
Most people stop at one lyric.
You're welcome to Nan, but as for the bucket, Pawtucket. Then the pair followed Pa to Manhasset, where he still held the cash as an asset.
Alex thought he was
and
free.
Nan and the man stole the money and ran, and then as for the bucket, Manhasset.
Marty, you're something.
Okay, Pa followed the pair to Pawtucket, the man and the girl with the bucket. You're welcome to Nan, but as far as the bucket, Pa took it. That's fucked up. That's not the right meter. We need to figure out what the hell is going on here. You're welcome to Nan. So he's saying you're welcome to have my daughter in holy matrimony. But then he took back his bucket, which I'm presuming still had the cash in it? What are they trying to say here? You're welcome to Nan. But as far as the bucket, it really sounds like he says Pawtucket. Not poor Tucket, but Pawtucket. But he took it. Right? That's obviously what he meant, right? Because that's the only thing that makes sense. Is that he had a bucket, she took it. It sounds like he's addressing the man. You're welcome to Nan. Like, he's not talking to his daughter who took the bucket. He's talking to the man with her. Pa followed the pair to Pawtucket. I'm missing something because that's not. There has to be another line there.
Daughter named Nan ran away with a man, and as far as the bucket, Nantucket. Pa followed the pair to Pawtucket. The man
we're still going.
And the girl with the bucket.
Most
and
people
he said
stop
to
at
the
one
man,
lyric.
You're welcome to Nan, but...
Oh, yeah, and he said to the man. It's like I deduced that line had to be in there, right? For rhythmic reasons. And also for logic reasons. He must be talking to the man. But yeah, I couldn't hear it over the people. So okay, this now makes sense as it's got limerick rhythm. Pa followed the pair to Pawtucket, man and the girl with the bucket. He said to the man, "You're welcome to Nan, but as far as the bucket, Pa took it. Pa took it." That doesn't make sense. Where did the quotation marks stop? Is it after? It must be after "You're welcome to Nan." So he doesn't say "but" anything. He just says "You're welcome to her." Like, what do you mean? We just ran away together with all your money. And you're like, "Yeah, you're welcome." And then he doesn't say anything, but he just takes the bucket. Because at first I was hearing it as in Pa says, "You're welcome to Nan, but as far as the bucket, Pa took it." Pa took it. I don't know what the fuck. I guess it's the first one. I guess. And then he starts his third one. What is going on with the third one? Let's take a look. Let's take a close look. Then the pair followed poor Manhattan, where he still held the cash as an asset. And the man stole the money and ran, and then just for the bucket, Manhattan. Okay, we're gonna have to listen to that one again.
You're welcome to Nan, but as for the bucket, Pawtucket. Then the pair followed Pa to Manhattan, where he still held the cash as an asset. Then the pair followed Pa to Manhattan.
Manhasset? Then the pair followed Pa.
Where he still held the cash. Then the pair followed Pa to Manhattan.
Then the pair followed Pa to I'm going to guess Hassett? Because it's supposed to rhyme with asset? I don't think he says Manhattan. Does he? Because Pa's from Nantucket. Why does he go to Manhattan? So it's Pa. The pair followed Pa to somewhere. Now, here's something else we can do with Fudgy. Because this is an example where on the podcast, only we don't hear it because the boys are shouting over it. But let's say we take this line here where Alex says, "Real quick, Marty, you're known for your limericks." Let's go back to Fudgy. And this time we're going to search the Alex Jones Show. There we go.
Yeah, real quick, Marty, you're known for your limericks. Give us a limerick.
19th century repeat. There was an old man of Nantucket who kept all his cash in a bucket.
Careful.
But his daughter, named Nan, ran away with a man, and as far as the bucket, Nantucket. Pa followed the pair to Pawtucket. The man
we're still going.
And the girl with the bucket.
Most
and
people
he said
stop
to
at
the
one
man,
lyric.
You're welcome to Nan, but as for the bucket, Pawtucket. Then the pair followed Pa to Manhasset, where he still held the cash as an asset.
Alex thought he was
And
free.
Nan and the man stole the money and ran.
That's because I still have that clicked. You're known for your limericks. Now, this doesn't probably have the super old Alex Jones stuff. Ooh, there's a few. What was the date of this? 2009? March 30, 31? There's no March 2009. It's February. Oh, it sounds like we have a few of them, though.
Give me a limerick in closing there. We always enjoy those, Marty.
Okay, well, this is in with apologies to Irving Berlin.
Fucking phone is
Blue
always
Cross
ringing in the background.
had me agree to a new Blue Cross policy. Blue Cross said I would be thrilled that Blue Cross covered me. Then I took a fall, leg in a splint. They
This is
said I
so
should read
shit.
all the fine print.
Dude, what are you
When a high
doing,
fever I ran, they said I took out the wrong plan. Oh, Blue Cross, there
God.
seems to be plenty for Blue Cross and none for me.
Oh, Alex's pained laugh. He's like, the final two lines rhymed asset with man has it. Okay. The man has it. Because he keeps saying, as for the bucket. That's funny. That was the first one here. Oh, he's got a lot of them.
Marty, give me a limerick.
I'm ready. He hated
God damn it.
to sew. So young Ned
This is the
rang
one
the bell of his neighbor instead. But her husband said, "Why, when you stitched his torn fly, there was no need to bite off the thread."
Because he fucked up the rhyme. He didn't establish the Ed rhyme in the first line. He's like, he loved to sew. So Ned went to his neighbor's house. It's like, it just doesn't fucking rhyme, man.
Here's the limerick. You ready?
Yes.
There once was a man from Australia who painted his ass like a dahlia. The color was fine, likewise the design, but the aroma, oh, that was a failure.
All right, Marty.
All right, Marty. Like, you could have pretended to laugh at that one, man. You could act a little more jolly. I would have laughed at that if I was in the room with the guy. Like, oh, this is all gay. You cheeky guy.
If you're sickly and feeling ill, your infirmity you wish to kill, take aim with silver bullet. Like a 9/11 inside job, you'll pull it. Yes, drop some Silverstein 7. Shoot yourself into healthy heaven.
That's That's probably going to get this live stream cut down just because I played that. God damn it.
We love his limericks. And, look, I bring products on from time to time that I believe in. And I've told the story before, but I think it's best I tell it briefly. Michael Trudeau is a salesman.
7091.
Or 5starsoap.com. Again, that number.
800.
Marty.
Give me a limerick in closing there.
I think I had that one already. So this is a rare occurrence where I can't find the original clip.
34070.
Looking on.
And they write books bragging how they do this.
Bragging. They write books bragging. They're bragging about this stuff. I'm not bragging. I was talking about this before anyone. I saw it coming before anyone. They all thought I was crazy. I'm not bragging. All right. I'm kind of losing interest in transcribing and analyzing all of these. Let's convert these to paint layers so I can put them on the timeline. Let's put them on frame 4. Oh, I forgot about these ones. All right. I've been streaming for a while. I think I'm going to close it down for the night. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.